So let's get into it.
品は18歳未満の方はプレイすることができません。
I didn't have a transition, so oops.
登場する人物名、
But either way,
団体名、ゆずソフト、
last time we played Angelic Chaos.
天使
We
創
just
造リ
started.
ブート、
Yeah, I guess we just started. I was about to say Kaguya's route, and you know, it's pretty alright. I mean, it doesn't help that we barely got into it. Alright, she's a bit of a tease. That's the main thing at the moment. She very much loves teasing Riku, and I very much love her teasing Riku. She hasn't changed in the ranking yet. I wanna get into more of her route first. But if the main point of the route is that we're getting teased by Kaguya, then I'm all for it. But either way, let's don the appropriate attire. And let's get into it. You know, it might the attire might be more appropriate if I had like box ears, considering that we're not. Well, no, I guess in Angelic Chaos, she would be considered a demon, right? Even though she doesn't have the devil wings or any anatomy similar to, say, Diablo, right? But yeah, I don't have fox ears, and I don't make it a habit to change my quote-unquote appropriate attire for between routes, right? I do it between games. But regardless, enough rambling on.
ロード画面だ。
Let's get into it. It's been a while. It's been too long. The next day. At long last, it's time for the assembly that will wrap up our first semester.
なんかいろいろあったけど、平和に夏休みが迎えられてよかったよね。
魔王の力が静まっているから、最近はくるみたちに悪影響も出ていないしね。
それそれ、いつまたああなっちゃうかって状態だと、お休みを満喫できなかっただろうし。
Don't listen, Kurumi. You don't need to worry about it. All right. You know, I'm sure you won't have to worry about it until your route. So you've got one more route to spare. You've had a big buffer at least. You know, so let's just say good luck when it's your time. It's just before homeroom, and I'm currently chatting with Kohibari and Noah, and they're basically talking about you while you're in the same room as them. So, you know, it's a bit weird. I entered the classroom to find Kohibari sitting on my desk, as usual, so Kinoshita and Shiraishi were with us then. Yeah, okay. But then Kohibari asked if we could talk and dragged me and Noah over here. I feel bad for excluding the other two, but we can hardly talk about Diablo when they're around. Seriously, I owe you two a lot.
ごめん、思い出すと恥ずかしくなってくるから、あの特訓の話はやめときたい。
So it's even worse than I thought. I thought I was gonna give them the benefit of the doubt and be like, oh, Riku just walked in on Noah and Kurumi talking to each other about the Diablo stuff. No, Kurumi specifically dragged Noah and Riku to like a fucking corner of the room where no one else could hear them and talk about the Diablo stuff. Oh, my bad. I should have realized that.
でも、あの特訓があったおかげで、くるみも平和に夏休みが迎えられるんじゃないかな。
それはそうなんだけどね。逆にあれで一区切りついたから谷風くんに絡む理由がなくなっちゃったというか。
Like I said, you've got another full route to buffer the issues that might pop up in your route. Yeah, sure.
夏休みに入っても遊ぶ約束とか微妙に振りづらい。せっかく仲良くなったのに。
Did you mention me?
なんでもないまあ、夏休みどう過ごそうかなって。
Every time I contemplate whether I should increase the volume of a character whenever they're like basically whispering, they always have to hit me with the full yellow bar in the audio mixer. A bit of context. My mic usually sticks around the yellow bar, sometimes goes above it a bit. Those louder moments in Angelic Chaos, they reach the red. Alright? And, well, if you don't know what I'm talking about, oops. I bet you keep busy over summer break, Kohibari. Basically saying that the characters, when they're at their loudest, are louder than when I'm talking. Alright? Basically that.
なーちゃんはどんな感じの予定なの？
僕は学院があろうがなかろうが、することは変わらない。おそらく、全くもっていつも通りだと思うよ。
Yeah, and I'm sure, just like in Fumika and Orie's route, by the time Kurumi, by the time Kaguya and Riku become close enough that they're basically dating, coincidentally, around that time, Noah's gonna be like, oh, hey, did you know that you don't need me to be around you all the time? In fact, you can just use this feather, right? It connects to me, and you can just have this around you instead of having me around. Whenever you coincidentally start doing stuff with the respective route girl, the route heroine. By that, she means lazing around and enjoying herself, I assume. Her typical day is snacking on chips and cola while reading manga and stuff. It's a fine way to spend summer break, don't get me wrong, but it's made me realize that her life is essentially one long vacation. I mean, she's technically working, even while drinking Coke and eating chippies. The only thing she needs to worry about is if you turn into Diablo, right? As long as you stay human form, she's doing her job.
なんだい?
Oh, just wishing I could be more like you.
そっか。いつも通りにか。
Kohibari gets called away by her friends and Noah heads back to her seat. Now alone, I start killing time on my phone, while sparing the occasional glances at my excited classmates.
ねえ、リク。
Uh-oh. What's up? That's when Kaguya comes up to me. I put my phone away and look up. She won't catch me off guard like she did yesterday. Maybe not here, but I highly doubt she'll never catch you off guard anymore. I soon realized that Kaguya is glancing around the classroom, much like I was.
クラスのこの盛り上がりは、しばらく学院に通う必要がなくなるからなのよね。
Much like I was. Basically, yeah.
私としては、登校も授業も楽しかったけど、確かに、一日を自由に使えるのも楽しそうね。
It seems she'd already figured out how students operated and just wanted to confirm her theory. Maybe I don't need to be on guard right now. That's the first mistake. You're dropping your guard. That's when Kaguya is gonna attack. So either yesterday was actually special, or I just caught her while she was in a different mood.
夏休み中、あなたは何をして過ごすつもりなの？
Oh, well, probably just lazing around and relaxing. I've always been an indoors person. Not one of those extroverts who spends time every waking moment hanging out with friends. So yes, my answer is a little dull, but I'm not gonna lie about it. Like I said, as soon as he dropped his guard, that's when she'll strike. Kaguya simply murmurs to indicate she heard me. Then she starts looking down the ground and thought. Does she want me to ask her to do something over summer break? The more time I spend looking at her, the more convinced I am that I'm correct. It's as if she realizes she was being too pushy yesterday and is now waiting for me to get the hint. But while my mind is worrying...
夏休みの過ごし方。
Kaguya takes out her smartphone and starts searching on the internet without faltering even once. I'm taken aback but before I can fully process it.
あ、かぐやちゃん、ついにスマホ買ったんだ。
Kinoshita's sharp eyes spot what Kaguya is doing. She immediately races over with the rest of her group. Ah, well, shit.
ええ、実は初めてのスマホなの。
じゃあ今までガラケー？へえ、なんか意外。でも最新のじゃなくてちょっと前のモデルじゃん。渋いね。谷風くんのと。
No, I don't know. Listen, I don't know what you're talking about, Karimi. Clearly, they're different models. All right, hers just has slightly more storage. All right, you know, you don't worry about the small stuff. All right, it's just a coincidence that they're the same model. All right, it was the only model they had at the store. All right, never mind.
とにかくリーンの ID 交換しようぜ。まずはそれっしょ。ね、くるみ。
I don't like why was her face like that when the only thing she was talking about is simply swapping numbers. Yeah, see, Kurumi, just be like Kaede. Don't worry about why we have the same model, alright?
ID 交換ね。じゃあ、はい。私の二次元コード。
かぐやちゃん初めてのスマホなのにもうリーンに慣れてるっぽくない？
ああ、それはもう経験してるから。
See, this is one of those lines where a look like this is appropriate, because she could have phrased it in any other way to make it not sound like a double entendre, but she does it intentionally while staring right at Riku. Huh? She glances over at me and flashes that mischievous smile. I get what she's implying, obviously. She already swapped numbers with me. But knowing what she means and knowing how to react are two separate matters.
へえ。だ
が聞くのはやぼか。
Listen,
まあそういうことなら早速。かぐやちゃんのアイコンかわいいじゃん。
私も慌てなくても逃げないから大丈夫よ。
Kage swaps numbers with the three girls. She doesn't look over at me at all during it. They already got the message. All right, I don't think they need to. I don't think Kage needs to keep staring at you until they. Well, no, she kind of did. She already dropped the hints to the three of them. Man, what was that about? Like, seriously, don't worry about it. You're too dense to realize. In any case, the rest of the day is uneventful. The assembly happens, and then we're finally set free. A lot of things have happened since I first transgraded, but for now, at least, things are calm again. I can relax over my summer break and live life the way I used to. Except for the...
天使創造
You
リ
know,
ブート。
except for the part that he can't goon anymore. Summer's in full swing now. It sucks having to come all the way downstairs just to get a drink.
はあ、面倒。部屋に私用の冷蔵庫欲しい。ってお兄。
You're here to refill too.
私、夏休みになってからはご飯とトイレとお風呂以外はゲームしかしてないから。
All I've been doing is marathoning manga series. Why are they competing over who's the most... I was gonna say degenerate, but only one of them can goon. Who is the biggest need?
お兄のくせにやるじゃん。
Same to you. I'm impressed. Our bizarre competition ends up in us admitting our admiration for each other, like two fearsome swordsmen in a standoff on the battlefield. Okay, sure. Thank God their mom isn't home. Summer break started only a few days ago, which has given me more than enough time to indulge in my desired degenerate lifestyle. Okay, no, actually, degenerate is the right word. Oh. You can tell that Amane and I are siblings because she's just as degenerate as me. Although now that I think about it, she isn't actually doing anything all too different to normal.
とにかく、せっかくの夏休みなんだし、満喫しないと負けだよね。
Agreed. Indulgence glistens sharply in her eyes as we nod in agreement. We're currently running off the high of starting summer break. Give us a little longer to fully relax and we'll be back to normal. It will be back to normal. It always happens. And we both know that, so we're not too worried. Except...
ああ、うん。確かにね。
I head over to the faucet. Meanwhile, Amane grabs an iced tea and bottle of cola from the fridge and heads back to her room. Shortly after, I follow suit.
パリ。
Yeah, except that this summer break, there's a third competitor in the Degenerate Olympics. And she's currently taking gold medal. She's currently first place. And in her room, I find the very definition of a fallen angel. You can tell just how far she's fallen from how she isn't even bothering to put her wings away. Noah's the one enjoying her summer break the most, no doubt about it.
お兄がずっと家にいるせいでこんな堕天使に。
Like you're one to talk.
まあ読んでるの私の漫画だしね。厚い薄い問わず。
Yeah, it's kind of corrupting her worldview. No, that's the best way to put it. She is getting slowly more and more corrupted with each doujin she reads.
はあ、パリ。
She's already it's already bad enough that she thinks in doujin tropes, right? But it's gonna be even worse when she starts getting desensitized to the vanilla stuff. Admittedly, no, it doesn't have anything to do with if I'm not doing anything myself. But surely that's all the more reason for me to keep living this way. All the more reason for me to keep living this way. What could be more important than preserving this angel's peaceful lifestyle? I guess he's not wrong. He's kind of right. I'm going back to my room.
うい、私もゲームに戻る。コーラが切れた。
Why do you look so distraught over that fact?
ほい、ついでに持ってきといたよ。
See, this is why Noah is winning the Degenerate Olympics. Alright? She even has her own fucking servant to give cola to her every time she runs out.
おー、ありがとう、アマネ。パリパリ。
Noah's fallen so far into the depraved lifestyle that she's getting Amane of all people to take care of her. Well, that's the other thing, right? Noah could very easily do this in her own room, right? And the best part about it is that it's on the first floor, so you don't even need to go downstairs to get all of the stuff that you need from the fridge. But no, Noah has gone above and beyond to laze around in someone else's room, and it is someone who is willing to give her cola. Alright? Amana isn't even letting Noah do it herself. In any case, I spend the rest of the day in much the same fashion. Before I know it, it's 11 at night. Suspicion. I shut down the visual novel I've been playing all evening. Well, unfortunately, if it was a visual novel I was playing, it'd probably be me recording it all evening. I booted it up in part because I was done with all the manga I wanted to reread. My cock still isn't working in the slightest. We went a full, like... We went a while without him bringing up his erectile dysfunction. The main reason, though, was to see what was happening between my legs. I've been playing the hottest game in my entire collection, but still nothing. I got used to controlling myself, though. All that training, so it didn't even get me in the mood. Nowadays, I can suppress my mana so that I don't abruptly transmigrate. But that alone hasn't been enough to bring my cock back to life. Don't worry, you'll figure out how to bring it back to life. You know, it happens around the same time. It'll happen around the same time as Amani and Noah's around. All right. I know why that's the case. I train to maintain calmness and avoid agitating my mana. As a result, it's harder for me to get excited. It's harder for me to get hard. So maybe I require a different form of training to get my cock erect again. Don't, like I said, it won't require a different form of training. All right, it'll just happen. Why it'll happen, you'll find out. Until now, I've been focused on cutting my mind off from the sensations affecting my body. But if that's not enough to get me hard, then maybe if I didn't cut my mind off completely, if I could stay calm while taking in those sensations. I think I know where he's coming from. I think I know where he's going with this. And now I'm wondering what that would even mean. I don't know anything about this. Maybe I should go and talk to Kaguya again. Wait, what am I thinking? Let's say, hypothetically, I did talk to Kaguya about this. I'd be telling her to train with me to help me get an erection. Which would basically be the same as asking her to get down and dirty with me, wouldn't it? I'm sure she would be fine with that. She would tease you a whole lot, but you know, that's the part of that's part of the experience. I can't do that. I could never say that. Not to her face. For one thing, it would be awkward. For another, I'd die of embarrassment. On the other hand, that can't go on forever. This can't go on forever. I can't take it much longer. All I want is to be able to get an erection again as soon as possible. What the hell am I supposed to do, though? I'm at a complete loss. Just forget about it. I can't see myself finding an answer to this problem anytime soon. In fact, all that thinking was sending my mind to some very strange places, so I'm going to give up and go to sleep. I'm just about to run away from my problems and dive into bed when... Huh? What's that rattling? Wait, is that my window? I spin around in confusion.
こんばんは。
Yeah.
お邪魔します。
Kaguya jump scare. It's Kaguya. I haven't seen her dressed in her old outfit in ages. And she's got the fox mask on too. She shuts the window behind her.
こんな時間に唐突に。しかも窓から入ってきてごめんなさいね。
I mean, like, you could have called before. Maybe you wouldn't have... you wouldn't have... it wouldn't have been so... out of nowhere that you showed up. What? Never mind. She must have unlocked the window with magic or with a lockpick. She just uses a regular lockpick. She then takes a breath and straightens herself up. This naturally causes her ample breasts to jiggle noticeably. The sight of her cleavage is burned into my mind. Do you need something? It takes all my willpower to look up at her face while I ask the pressing question. There's no hiding how surprised I am, though. Why are you...
そうね。言ったら、予売になるのかしら。
what?
し
ん
あまり大きな声は出さないで。
I don't know what's going on here, but I like where it's going. I don't know why she's here, but I'm liking where it's going. This is like a repeat of the other day. Before I know it, Kaguya is right up next to me. Close enough that those large breasts of hers squash right up against me. Her feminine scent once again wafts up my nose. Wafts up to my nose.
こうして忍んできたのは、他でもない。
Uh-huh. She whispers, looking at me through upturned eyes. I'm so shocked I almost lose my footing.
あなたと、したいことがあったから。
To tease him. Because that's what you... Because, like, you know, we're not far enough into this... We're not far enough into a route to actually do anything meaningful, right? Something with me.
ええ。
Her eyes narrow as an elegant smile forms on her lips. Her gaze draws me in, my heart pounding. The only time I've felt anything close to this is when I've spent time with Fumika outside of school. My chest throbs with longing for this older lady friend of mine. It feels like there's nothing I can do to go against it. And yet, something feels wrong. I gulped subconsciously. So, like, what are you actually gonna... What do you actually want him to do? What are you actually gonna do with him? Because like we know what you're trying to imply, but that's not what you're actually going to do. Her eyes narrow further when she giggles. Her lips glisten, glistening even in the dim light, slowly open.
二人だけで特訓の続きをしましょう。
I don't even get a chance to gulp this time. Right. She hasn't simply pushed me down to my bed. She's brought her seductive smile so close that I can feel her breath grazing my cheek. Half of her bodacious figure lies atop me, and she glues herself to me. Her ample breaths are both resting on and being squished into me at the same time. And that's not even the end of it. Her dainty fingers gracefully roll up my shirt and begin to tease my nipples. Simultaneously, she gyrates, rubbing not just the softness of her chest, but her whole body up against me. Kaguya.
落ち着いて。あなたがやることは以前と同じよ。
Okay, I think the biggest twist here is that she's doing exactly what I thought she wasn't going to do. I mean, she isn't going as far as I thought, but you know, she is continuing with the quote-unquote training, which is not what I expected. She whispers, pressing her softness further against me. Well, this is a dream, right? It's one or the other. It's as if she's trying to both console me and arouse me at the same time. She said this was to continue my training, which means I have to focus on keeping myself calm no matter what.
頭が追いついてくれたみたいね。
Yeah, maybe, but
失われていたあなたのマナはもうすっかり回復しているわ。こうしているだけでも強く感じるほどに。
her sensual figure gyrates in one massive wave against mine. The mere thought of feeling this all over has me on the verge of losing my composure. But I focus as hard as I can, cutting my mind off from these sensations and maintaining a calm demeanor. That's why we're training?
でも今までのようにただくっつくだけではもうダメ。簡単に前世返りしてしまわないようになるのがひとまずの目標だった。それは達成されたけど、でもあなたの本来の目標、いえ、接眼は。
Kaguya has her leg, specifically her thigh, straddling across my abdomen. She wriggles it, almost as if she's intentionally using it to stroke my crotch. Unfortunately, but not surprisingly, I don't react in the slightest.
男性の尊厳を取り戻すことよね。
So this training is gonna help me get my manhood, get me hard again?
落ち着いて。すぐには無理よ。
Well, I guess Riku should be thankful that Kaguya had the same thought as him at the same time. She squishes her soft frame against me, as if to console me again.
これはいわば第二段階。高ぶりだけではなく、マナ自体を限界まで抑え込めるようにする。私の考えでは、それからが本番。そこまで抑制可能な制御力をあなたが身につけられれば。
Listen, Kaguya, I know that I'm sort of metagaming here, but What I'm going to say is that if you're trying to train him to be able to get it up again without having to transmigrate, there is a very simple way to do it. And it's happened in 4 other girls' routes already. And that is to start dating him. That's the first step, all right? And the second step is to get him so horny, I guess, for you that he can't help but not get it up. He can't help but get it up. Yeah. And that's that's much easier than this training, I mean, I'm not complaining about it, but she talks about how difficult the training might be, and I'm here being like, well, we've seen in 4 other characters' routes that he didn't really need that much training to begin with. He didn't really need that much training to get to that second stage.
勃起機能と射精機能のみを解放することもきっと
Possible?
できるようになる道筋が見えてくるはずよ。
We're going through all this effort just to find a path forward. I start getting disappointed, but then I take a moment to think about it. Well, at the moment, I don't have any clue how to make my cock work again. Anything is better than that. At least this will give me hope. Kogi came up with this whole plan just to help me. I was hesitant to even broach the subject with her, but she went ahead and came directly to me.
もちろん危険はあるわ。ノアが聞いたら反対するかもしれない。
Okay, forget Noah being opposed to this. Aurier will be 100% opposed to this. Alright, forget likely being opposed to this. There is a certainty for Aurier, with Aurier.
これは必要なことだと思うの。だから。
Okay. This is one of those times where I kind of...
バックログ画面だ。
How do I do this?
設定画面だ。
Where are you?
音量はこれくらいで大丈夫かしら。
This is her normal speaking voice. But like... Let's bump you up a bit.
音量はこれく
There you go. Surely it'll be better. She twists her head to draw my attention to her mask.
この面をつけてきたのよ。今はあなたには聞いていないけど、それでも周囲に認識を阻害する効果は展開されたまま。つまり。
That Noah, Mane, and my parents will have no idea.
そういうことよ。
Well, how convenient. So you're saying that there is a different... So are we not gonna go down the feather route? Like we have with Aurier and Fumiga? Kage nods while leaning in toward my ear. Did they do it in Omane's route? It's been so long I kind of forgot. I think so. I'm picturing a scene where before Noah went around to fucking, patrol the area around the house, she gave him a feather. So I think it was in a miner's route too. So yeah, it can happen in a main girl's route, but at least in Kaguya's route, there is a different way to go about Kaguya and Riku being able to do things without having Noah around, which is to have Kaguya break into his room every time they want to do something. And you know what, never mind, maybe the feather thing is probably slightly better.
存分にできるわ。
Okay, let me hang on.
存分にできるわ。
Holy shit. That was one of those lines where it was so quiet you'd kind of have to max out literally everything to be able to hear it. And when I say literally everything, I mean her volume, the voice volume, and the master volume.
本当にあなたと私二人だけの秘密の特訓。
I see. I don't like that they're doing this, but I understand that there's that she's whispering so quietly that only Riku can hear it. But like the difference between this voice and her normal speaking voice is so loud that it would be very inconvenient of me to change the volume to increase the volume even more than it already is. That I already have. Something like that. Trembling excitement pours into my ear, then spreads through me. All I'm hoping for is that increasing the volume in DaVinci will be enough to actually make a difference. You know, make it hearable to normal people. If it weren't for my prior training, I would have transmigrated on the spot. But now I can handle it. Yeah, this is nothing.
例えばこんな。
Wait, hold up. She's no longer just teasing my nipples, but pinching, pulling, and rolling them around.
えいえいえい。
And she's also pressing and rubbing those massive tits into me.
そんなに硬直して息を詰めて。
If only he was stiff in the one place that was relevant. Oh, I mean, yeah, of course. This is nothing like we've...
ええ、今までのようではもうダメと言ったでしょ。
I might need to intentionally increase this part of the video even more than the rest of it. Alright. You did say that, yes, but it's not just the feeling of a breast squishing and rubbing against me, but the side of it that stimulates me. The way they flexibly, I know why it was so hard of me to read the word, flexibly change shape, spreading out as they squish against me, the way they jiggle. This isn't fair.
乳首の方は問題なく勃起するのね。ならもっとするわ。クリクリクリクリ。
And I'm not surprised if there are more scenes like this to come, pun intended. So, you know, I'll probably have to increase the volume with those as well. Wait, playing with my nipples isn't fair either. No girl has ever toyed with me like this, and it's turning me on way too much. Listen. I wish this was me. Never mind. I could feel the lust within beginning to awaken as I watch. Okay, well that doesn't help. Now she's doing more than just teasing him. She's making noises. Kogi is having her way with me. A girl possessing elegance, beauty, and sex appeal in spades. All of her essence seems to be coming together and to form one command.
私で全世界に
Hang on. I thought the point of this was to make sure he doesn't. This kind of this kind of goes against the whole reason why you started training him. All right, she's going a bit too far now. She's even going as far as making noises as a bass sound effect. You know, this is the kind of thing that you would only experience from a hate scene, and I wouldn't be surprised if there was a CG here, but the only reason that they haven't skipped this part is because of how integral it is to the plot of the game, of the route. So they're just kind of they're substituting the CG with the background of his ceiling, which if they were going to use any background, this is kind of one of the worst. They could have just kept with the room background and it would have been great. I don't like that I have to stare at the ceiling while she's doing all this, but I mean, I guess technically Riku is staring at the ceiling too. It's just that there's a Kaguya on top of him while he's doing it, so never mind. I hear the words inside my mind as clearly as she said them herself. That's just how stimulating and how arousing the situation is. More sound effects. I'm not going to say all of them. I grit my teeth to endure it. I'm desperate. If I can't hold out here, then I'll never find a way to get it up again. Look, I know that when she said she's gonna make him transmigrate, she said it in a way that would make him not want to. What do I mean by that? She said it to tease him, right? So that he would want to transmigrate even less. But like at this stage, I don't think it's teasing. Right? I don't think she's teasing about wanting him to transmigrate. What's with that spellbound look she's giving me? How could one woman be so seductive? She makes the breath catch in my throat for several seconds. Honestly, the look she's giving me is the most arousing thing of all. Yet I can't look away. I mean, it's kind of hard not to. That sexy face and those sweet whispers are not fair in the slightest. I mean, I know whenever I'm talking as Riku or thinking as Riku, I'm making my voice extra breathy. I don't know how it'll sound, right? I hope it isn't as bad as I'm thinking. Because listen, I'm not gonna stop, right? If this is what Riku might sound like while he's saying things or thinking of things, right? I'm gonna keep doing it. Whispers are so immensely erotic, enough so that I think she must be determined to make me transmigrate. She literally said she would make you transmigrate. Okay. Like I said, she might have said it to tease you, but at this point, it's not. I don't think it's, you know, I don't think she's saying it to tease you anymore. I don't think it's a joke anymore. But, you know, when Riku says something like this, I'm like, brother, it's she said that. She already said that. Never mind. The odds are against me, but still I desperately endure. If I were to transgrade, not even the obstructive powers of her fox mask would save us. No one would sense Diablo's mana and come rushing in. If that happened...
私なら相手をしてあげられるから。
I'm sure you are. The irresistible moment I'm spending with Kaguya would come to a premature end. Thanks for the double entendre. I may not have an erection, but trying to endure this arousal is still painfully harsh.
これからもこうさせて。
Kaguya. Nothing could make a man happier than to have a girl like Kaguya coming onto them. That goes double for a virgin like me. This is bliss. This is bliss. I never want this to end, but...
お願い。
She's going a bit too far, alright? I mean, she already crossed the line ages ago, but I mean, this is going even further than that. I'm not doing that. You get one. I'm quickly approaching my limit here. Everything about Kaguya is too stimulating for me. The feel of her body, her heat, her scent, the look she's giving me, her whispers, her caress, all of it. Shit, I'm gonna transgrade. I can't take it any longer. Right before the burning heat turns into a full-on blaze, I clench my eyes shut, and then... Ah, thank God, saved by the vibrating phone. Never mind, I was gonna make a vibrating joke, but I hear a ringtone and something vibrate. For some reason, Kaguya's chest has started to shake. Well, I don't think her outfit has pockets. So, you know, why not use nature's pocket? A female, the female nature's pocket. She noticed too, and immediately jumps back from me. Huh? The flames inside me begin to die down in disappointment. He literally just got edged. He was about to release, alright? He was about to transgrade, and then he gets blue balls by Aurier. Still in a daze. I set myself up and... Well, I was wondering what I would have to use as the thumbnail. I guess I don't need to worry anymore. Boing.
何よ、いいところで。
Brother. You don't need to keep bouncing, alright? The phone's already pulled out. They're still moving, by the way. What? She had her phone in there of all places? Like I said, I don't think her outfit has pockets. So, where else would you put it? I had no idea. I couldn't tell. Even when she had them all smushed up against me.
え？だから言っておいたでしょ？リクのところよ。
Stop moving. Actually, with chunks that enormous, it would probably be easy to store a cell phone. She's got a whole... Listen, she's got even more than a cell phone in there. You just don't even know. You don't even know. If it weren't easy, then I wouldn't have just witnessed what I did. Those puppies sure are impressive.
はいはい、わかったわよ。もう帰るわ。本当にオリエは心配性なんだから。
In any case, it sounds like she's on the phone with Aurier. Yeah, no shit. Which means she must have bought a phone. She must have bought a phone too. If the princess has one, then I must too, is probably how it played out. Either that or Kaguya forced her to buy one.
ああ、ええ、それがね、聞いてちょうだい。リクったらね、私が全身を押し付けるようにのしかかっただけで、リクンって硬直してくれて。
I'm sure he would have loved being as stiff as a board in the one place that matters, but unfortunately she's talking about his entire body, excluding the one part where... Never mind. Huh?
そうよ。乳首だっていじったわ。生まれて初めて男性の乳首を愛撫したの。私。
Out of all of the people she could brag about this to, I feel like Ori is one of the worst. Not for Kaguya's sake, but for Riku's sake. Riku. Let's just say, if you're ever alone with Ori, say, good luck. That's all I'm gonna say. That.
そうしたら、リクはもう顔を真っ赤にしてこらえて、可愛かったわ。たまらなく。
I don't. Sorry, Kaguya. Why is she giving a full report? And why does she sound so happy about it? Why does she have hearts in her eyes?
何を嬉しそうに報告しているんですか、姫様は。
Yeah, Ori and Riku are saying the same things. Ori shouts so loudly that I can hear it. The phone isn't even on speaker mode. If I was able to pick up the problem, it's no wonder Ori did as well. Which means it's about time for one of her raging lectures. Just be glad that the raging lecture isn't towards you. Hopefully.
はしたない。ありえません。ご自分を何者とお考えなんですか。特訓ならばいざ知らず、夜に忍んでいってそのようなことを。
Listen, Ori. It's fine. Alright? He was awake, so it was between two consenting adults. So let's go with that. The game said they're 18. They're 18.
信じて送り出した姫君がそんなみだらなことをしていたと聞かされた従者の身にもなってください。
わかったわよ。わかったけど、声が大きすぎよ、オリエ。
Look, at least Kaguya was being honest about what she was doing. She even gave a full detailed report, and her tits are still jiggling around like there's a phone in them, but there isn't.
後で聞くから、いい加減になりやみなさい。いい？それじゃあ、切るわよ。
With an exasperated sigh, Kaguya cuts the call. Are you gonna be okay?
大丈夫よ。いつものことだもの。
No, I'm most certain this does not always happen. Just as I have that thought. Okay. Though I'm not as shocked as when she whipped it out, I'm still shocked enough. Obviously, she has to put her phone back where it came from, but this is still a feast for the eyes.
入れる時の方がなんだか難しいのよね。
Kaguya, I know you're doing this on purpose. You can't fool me, alright? She makes several attempts to push her phone back into her cleavage, each one making her breasts softly jiggle and contort. And I'm just staring at her wide-eyed. Why is she so sexy? Why are her boobs so sexy? Don't look at me like that. Oh. We made eye contact. But she doesn't get angry or embarrassed about it. Riku. Level with me here. Did you seriously think she would get angry or embarrassed about you watching her put her phone back in her cleavage after the shit she did to you? You know? Just think about it again. Yeah, maybe you'll realize how dumb it would be to think that she would get embarrassed over this. Now she's definitely doing it on purpose. What? She's now gleefully plunging her phone in and out of her cleavage. She's definitely doing this to show off to me, right? What other reason could there be? Unfortunately, my screams remain inside my head. My bag barely picked up on that one. Unfortunately, I end up gulping while still staring as hard as I possibly can. This time, I really don't think you could blame me. The reason for that is because Kaguya's phone is the exact same model and color as mine. They're the spitting image of one another. It's like I'm plunging my phone into her cleavage, and that's getting me all horny. Me plunging right into Kaguya's ample cleavage. Oh, her phone suddenly disappears into the valley of her boobs, leaving me to whimper in disappointment. You know, me too, brother.
本当にも
Me too, but listen. There is another thing that I wish was in between her tits. But I shall not disclose it. But you know what I mean. Kaguya smiles, enjoying every moment. I suddenly snap back to my senses and straighten my posture.
それじゃあ帰るわ。おやすみなさい。また来るわね。
I'm sure you will. But then the next time around is gonna be it's gonna be a lot harder for her to, well, maybe not. I was gonna say it'll be a lot harder for her to explain to Aurier what she's gonna be doing when she goes out, but maybe she'll be honest with Aurier this time and just say she's gonna go out to try to get Riku hard. I don't know how that will go. I don't know how that will bode, right? With Aurier, but you know, it's easier to ask for forgiveness than to ask for permission. Wait, no, that's the first. That's what's happening here. The second time around, she's going to be asking for permission. Oh, right. I only barely managed to mumble out a reply before Kaguya leaves out of the same window she entered through. After that, glug glug glug. My throat was as dry as the desert, so I came down to the kitchen to guzzle some water. Yeah, I mean, your throat's gonna go dry after experiencing something like that. Yeah, my throat did go dry after experiencing something like that. I could still feel the sensations all over. So many things are burnt right into my mind. Nothing. Oh! Sorry, did I wake you up? I was in such a hurry to get some water in me that I wasn't really paying attention to how heavy my footsteps were.
どちらかというと気づいただね。リクの気配が移動したことに。
So, just be glad that Noah can't sense his presence moving as specifically, as minutely, as his presence moving on his bed. Let's go with that.
こんな時間にキッチンに降りてくるのはあまりなかったし、どうしたのかと思って。
From the way she's acting, it would seem she truly has no idea that Kaguya was here until a few moments ago. That fox mask really is incredible. If it can deceive even angels.
一人でブツブツ言っていたし、なんだか顔も赤いし。
Huh? I instinctively reach up to touch my face. I could feel the heat radiating from my cheeks, so I know I was pretty damn red. I must be pretty damn red. Yeah, that checks out. What with how dirty my dirty, with how dry my throat was and all.
体調不良ではないよね。
Oh, no, not at all. It's, well, I was, watching some more extreme things to see if it was working again.
あれが復活してないか?
So his way to prevent Noah from knowing that Kaguya was in his room is to embarrass her.
つまり、ドスケベ動画か何かを見て興奮状態なんだね。
I was gonna say maybe it's not a good idea for him to say it to her, considering Noah's gonna blurt it out, but well, yeah. Now that Noah's fucking yelling and shit, Amane is gonna come down from her room, or Fumika's gonna come down and scold both of them. Just calm down. We humans prefer to be indirect about these things. Take a hint, okay?
わほん、申し訳ない。それでどうだったんだい？その、勃起的なあれは。
Just sticky, you know what, after a word doesn't make it any less direct.
本当だ！僕はさっきから何を言っているんだ！
Anyway, I'm sure you can figure it out from how I'm just casually standing here drinking water.
なるほど。察したよ。復活していたのなら今夜は、いろいろと忙しいだろうしね。
That wasn't much better. You were less direct, but it still felt awkward.
僕にどうしろと？
First of all, quiet down. You don't want to wake Amane or I was going to say Fumika. His mum. In all honesty, she's helped me calm down a fair bit, so I'm somewhat grateful to her. Apparently that wasn't a worry. In any case, we wish each other good night and return to our separate rooms. The moment I look over at my bed, I'm reminded of what just happened in it. Okay, there you go. Okay, I mean, I knew there was a CG a bit of a ways in. I don't know why I didn't pick up on it before, but yeah, this is just confirmation. She was saying stuff about how we'd been doing this again, how we'd be doing this again, and how she'd be back. Which means that we're gonna, with all of the hey, it's not like I'm looking forward to this or anything. I don't know why you're being tsundere about it. I listen. Any guy would love. Most guys would love having a Kaguya on top of them, teasing them in their bed at night to try to solve their erectile dysfunction. Okay, never mind. Maybe not that part. I appeal to the empty space around me. We men. Why do we men have to be so vain, so determined to overreach? Maybe it's because it's Kaguya. If that's the reason, then I feel so stupid and childish, horribly embarrassed by myself. But at the same time, I think it's probably the reason. That's probably the reason. Kaguya is overflowing with elegance, overwhelmingly beautiful, and has a body to die for. She's the kind of girl that, by all rights, I never would have had a chance to speak to, let alone. I think all the contact I've had with her is just driving the point further home. And we're going to, again. I don't end up getting much sleep that night. when I do, it's already the early hours of the morning, early hours of the morning, and I just end up dreaming about Kaguya anyway. In what probably would have been a wet dream if my body currently possessed the ability to have one. I'm gonna find it hard to look her in the eye for a while. Pun intended. Okay, I don't appreciate that the transition for Kaguya is I've only seen the swimsuit. Alright? Hang on, let me just for just for the sake of it, let me see if there's an actual. Okay, there's something else going on here. I'm sure you could chalk it up to the fact that it's scripted as to what outfit she changes into with each transition, but like, it's always been the swimsuit. It's only been the swimsuit. Has it only been the swimsuit? I'm trying to think back to the first time it transitioned. Alright? Because during this recording session, it's definitely only been the swimsuit. And my own reticence has, to put it bluntly, done absolutely nothing to prevent recent proceedings. Big words for... Big words for such a small man. I feel nothing.
何度見ても可愛い。あなたがそうやって必死でこらえているところ。
I really need to see what CG they're censoring here. Like, by all means, the way they're talking about the things that are going on in this CG, there's like nothing explicit shown, right? Maybe not on Kaguya's half. Maybe the explicit areas are being shown only on Riku's area, right? And I don't mean just his shirt not being on. When she gets started, there's nothing I can do to deny her. I take every fiber of my being to... It takes every fiber of my being to keep from being turned on by the way she incessantly toys with me.
でも、さすがに少し慣れてきたのかしら。この密着状態に。
It's gonna take a while longer for him to start getting used to this, alright?
だったら、こっちをもっといじってあげなきゃ。
And by the time he starts getting quote-unquote used to it, I'm sure you're gonna be dating each other. I told you. That's not fair.
私にいじられればいじられるほど感度が上がっているものね。あなたの乳首。だから私も日に日にハマってしまっている気がするわ。
Kaguya has, as a matter of fact, been sneaking into my room almost every night. She always pushes me down onto my bed before pressing her sensitive, seductive frame up against me.
あなたのための二人だけのとっくに二人だけの秘密に。そう、秘密よ。あなたの乳首がこんな風に立つことも。
Look, at this point, I just feel bad for Riku, right? Because forget when he was getting blue balls by Orie, right? In the first time around, he's getting blue balls by his own body. He's getting blue balls by Diablo, and the fact that Diablo was fucking... Well, he wasn't doing that, and that's the reason why he can't get hard.
スネウ国の姫である私が男性のあなたの股間をこんな風に愛撫していることも。
More of that. She keeps whispering about how this is our secret, and she caresses me, and she caresses me. And what's more, that caress has been getting more audacious by the day.
太ももをこすりつけられるだけで高ぶっちゃうのね。
You know, I'm less curious about what she's doing to him, and more so about how she was able to convince Aurier to let her do this every night. Well, yeah, that's kind of how it works. She's moved on from simply toying with my nipples. Her leg wraps over me like she's hugging a pillow, and she uses it to press and grind against my crotch. Okay. Okay. No, I think I can see the picture as to why they, at least as to why they censored it the first time around, and potentially this time around, right? It's because the CG would have her leg on his crotch area, right? Maybe not showing it, especially in the first time around, and probably not this time around, but they will show it eventually, right? And that's why they censored this CG throughout the entire time they're doing this. Because keep in mind, this is a similar thing as to what happened in Aurier's route, except the difference is they just completely got rid of this part in Aurier's route, right? They didn't just censor the CG, they just got rid of these scenes. Inevitably, that leads to her own crotch pressing up against me.
そんな顔されたら私もどうかしてしまいそう。
Her shrill tones and seductive expressions are also stimulating. I can't block them out of my mind, so they serve only to fan my arousal. And meanwhile, I'm forced to suppress that arousal by whatever means necessary.
もっとするわ。あなたが答えてくれるならもっと大胆なことを私。
Whatever means necessary. This hellish paradise, or heavenly hell, they're the same thing. Always comes to an abrupt end. Signaled by this very sound and Koga's vibrating boobs.
残念だけど時間みたいね。
Yeah.
そう。
Kaguya pries herself away from me and gets up off the bed and produces the phone from her cleavage as she always does. I'm used to seeing it by now, but it remains as incredibly sexy as the first time.
はいはい。ちゃんと終わらせたから大丈夫よ。
You know, I'm not, you know, I've gotten used to the vibrating tits when the phone is in the tits, but like, you know, this gravity-defying shit where it's jiggling even when she's not moving, you know, even when the phone isn't in them, like, that's even more physics than High School of the Dead.
ええ、やりすぎてもいないわ。これ以上織江にお説教されたらたまらないもの。
Okay, so that was the condition. Aurier allowed her to come over here every night as long as she didn't go too far. As in, probably didn't expose her own skin. Or didn't expose even more than her outfit already does.
あくまでも特訓。その範疇は分かっているから、安心して。
Orie may have gotten angry the first time, but since it's been happening practically every night, I have to assume she approves of the training part at least. She is very insistent that we don't take it too far, however.
具体的に？それは内緒よ。
You're only saying that because you got yelled at. You got yelled at after giving a full detailed report the first time around.
そこまで話したら、完全に二人だけの秘密の特訓ではなくなってしまうじゃない。
Except for the first time around.
初日のあれは、ちょっと調子に乗っちゃっただけ。もうしないわ。だから、内緒。
See, listen, all I'm saying is, look, I understand that. Okay, let me just say it like this. The first time around, she gave a full detailed report of what Kaguya did with Riku, right? Now that it's confidential, I feel like Orie would be even more worried about the things that Kaguya is doing with Riku, right? Sure, I'm sure that Orie trusts Kaguya a lot, but would you really trust Kaguya to this extent, right? Giving Kaguya the benefit of the doubt and being like, okay, she says that she isn't going too far, so I'll trust her, but she isn't going to tell me exactly what she did. Sure, I guess I can trust her, right? Like, listen. You know what? Never mind. I don't know. I feel bad for Orie. In a way. Alright? Because like the fact that she has to do this every time, and the fact that Orie calls Kaguya every time is a bit overbearing. Right? But Kaguya and Riku aren't dating yet. So it's fine until then. So, I know it's Orie, but she actually told someone else that we have secret training sessions. Maybe that's a sign of how close they are. Though, Kaguya doesn't feel that telling her stops it being a secret.
はいはい。それじゃ。
When the conversation ends, Kaguya puts her phone back between her boobs. The other day, she told me that she stores it there because her clothes have no pockets, so it's the only place. What'd I say? Really drives home just how incredible her cleavage is. You can easily be turned into a pocket storage space. I, as always, have my eyes glued to her boobs the whole time. I mean, listen, I would too if they kept jiggling even though there was no force being applied to them. Kaguya, meanwhile, has gotten the hang of storing her phone in her plunging valley. Don't call it that. Don't call him that. It takes only about a third of the time it did the first time I saw her do it. Once done, she sighs and fixes up her clothes.
それじゃ、帰るわね。
I'm more surprised that she doesn't keep teasing him about the whole plunging her plunging valley. Yeah, there, sure, let's go with that. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Thanks again for today.
どういたしまして。もうすっかり毎回言ってくれるようになって。
Well, yeah. She comes here to help me night after night. How can I not thank her? Though, like, since we're doing it every day, it's Sort of like we're having secret trysts right under my family's noses. My thoughts are making me uneasy. Why am I the only one who feels this way? I'm just going to say you're wrong about that. You know, I understand that you're a dense protagonist, but just think about it logically. Right? If Kaguya didn't feel this way, why would she still be doing it? All right, just think about that one. Just food for thought. All right. I know this isn't what this is about. Yeah, there's no way Kaguya would. She has no intention of. She has no intention of it. That much is clear. Yeah, but how do you know that? You haven't clarified anything to her, right? So, how do you know that Kaguya doesn't have those thoughts? So then, why do I?
Nani? どうかした?
Oh no! I just I hesitate for a moment before my desire to know wins out. I was wondering why you're going so far just to help me. I'm glad that he's. You know what? I'll give him that. Even though it took a while, at least he's asking. At least he's finally asking. Huh? Her reaction wasn't what I was expecting. Her expression darkens, and she looks down on at the ground. And then she stiffens up as she finally squeezes out the words.
私はこうすることの他にあなたとのつながりがないもの。
She whispers as if talking to herself.
接する理由がない。
That's just not true.
あまねやくるみはこっちの世界の人間。あなたとは元から関わりがあった。その上で前世でもつながりがあるのよ。
Well, yeah, but...
ノアにしてもあなたを守るという使命は私と似たようなものだけど、同じ家で一緒に暮らしている。寝食を共にしている。夏休み中でも日常的に顔を合わせる。そんな彼女たちに比べて私はあなたとの縁的なものが薄いのは間違いないわ。だからいわば特訓を口実にあなたとの縁を深めさせてもらっている。本当はお礼を言うべきなのは私の方なのよ。私はあなたの世話を焼いているんじゃない。すべて単に私の勝手な都合なんだもの。
I got a hunch as she started talking. And the more I listened, the more convinced I was. So, are you saying, like, you want to get to know me better? The words are forced out of the words are forced from my chest, hammered out by my pounding heart.
迷惑?
Not at all. She asks timidly, through upturned eyes. My instinctual response causes her to be stupefied for a second. Then she giggles happily.
ありがとう。それじゃあ、また。
Yeah. Kaguya leaves through the window, like she always does. But her scent still hangs in my room, like it always does. That final smile on her face is burned into my mind. Get a grip, dude. Don't get ahead of yourself. I stand there, spaced out, my heart pounding even faster, until I'm finally able to snap myself back to reality. Kaguya wants to get to know me better, but that's no different than how things were when we first met. I must have read too deeply into what she said. Knowing me, I'm likely to jump to conclusions. Okay, dude. You know what? You're right. Maybe you should get a grip. Just not like this. I try my best to persuade myself, but... God, my heart won't stop pounding. Be that as it may, I know I need to keep my mind calm. Maybe there's just me being horny. Kaguya's been sneaking into my room night after night. I've been on the receiving end of her touch, her constant caress. I may not be able to get it up, but that doesn't mean I'm completely immune to my primal instincts, does it? It's plausible. I admit I'm a total virgin. I've built up no tolerance to this stuff, which is yet another reason I mustn't jump to the wrong conclusion. It wouldn't be right of me to do that to Kaguya. Mistaking being horny for liking someone. I open the window she left from and bask in the sweltering night air as I reflect on it all. That's never led to anything good. You know, most of the time, it isn't that deep, right? But this is one of those times where, bro, it is that deep, right? Maybe, yeah, never mind. He's gonna stay dense as any protagonist would, so, and that's what my intuition tells me. All that time, I didn't realize that, in a certain sense, I was simply trying to avoid facing reality.
天使創造リブート
It finally showed a different outfit. I mean, I say finally, but like it's only, even though it's only been like 2 transitions, but still, it's been a while between those transitions, right? Several days have passed since that night.
お兄さん。
Is okay, this either goes one of 2 ways. Either Riku's depressed because Kaguya hasn't been coming to his room that often, or he's extra horny because she keeps coming to his room every night. What?
最近なんかそわそわしてない？
Okay, it is... Well, no, I still don't know if it's the first or second. Mane and I have gotten bored of standing in our rooms all the time, and coincidentally come down to the living room at the exact same time. The 2 of us are lounging around eating ice cream.
ぶっちゃけ今もだよね。夜になるのを待ちかねてるみたいな感じっていうかさ。
Okay, it is the second one. My mind immediately goes into a full-on panic. Wait, is it that blatant? Or is she some kind of psychic? It's because you're related by blood.
ひょっとして。
No, I'm not.
そんな必死になる段階で私的にはもう確定なんだけど。お兄、やっぱり。
Wait, no, it's not what you...
推しの部位でもできたんでしょう。
I think you mean Oshi. Get it right, Amane? Huh?
俺は配信には興味ないぜ。ふっみたいに気取ってたから、終始がえバレしたくないのはわかるけどさ。
Hey, I don't act like that.
そんなそわそわ生配信時間を待ちかねてるくらいハマっちゃったんでしょう。
Amane is grinning from cheek to cheek. I, on the other hand, feel so relieved I almost collapse. Phew. She may have noticed how restless I am. But take a moment to think about it. There's no way Amane could know about Kaguya.
あ、お兄がハマった部位って何系なの？ヒントちょうだいヒント。当てるから。
Shut up already. You want some ice cream too, Noah?
食べる！
We've got Benji and Aries soda flavor, or Borden does for Benji and Aries and Borden does. Okay, yeah, Borden does vanilla. Which would you like? That's not what I meant to press.
Vanilla!
Cool. I'll get it. I'll get you it.
ありがとうボーデンダッツのバニラ今日はなんていい日なんだろう
She went for the premium option, right? Haagen-Dazs or Ben and fucking Jerry's. It just Noah's getting into an awfully good mood. Oh, is it Kaguya?
私なんか頼んでたっけないかじゃあお兄かな
No, I didn't order anything either. I head over to the doorbell, wondering who it could be, and peer into the mirror, into the monitor. I certainly wasn't expecting this person to show up in my house today.
せっかくスマホを入手したのですから、事前に一報差し上げておくべきでしたね。
Listen, Oria, I don't know why you're asking. I don't know why you're saying this now. Like, Riku shouldn't already know that. Well, Okay, no, you know what? I'll just say, Orie didn't know that Kaguya was in his room whenever they talked. You know what? Let's go with that. It's been a long time since Orie last came over. It's clear she's here to talk about Kaguya, so I take her up to my room.
失礼いたしました。
Do you apologize for blue balls in him every night or coming over? Nah, it's cool. I was just lazing around anyway.
そうですか。では早速本題に。
She's still as straight to the point as she was when she first got here, huh? I reminisce whimsically when...
姫様についてです。
Uh-oh. You know, Kaguya has gotten lectured by Orie too many times now. It's time for Riku to be lectured by him. By her. Her overwhelming rage makes me snap to attention. What's going on? I thought she'd given her approval to Kaguya coming over here for training. About Kaguya, you say? Well... Let me think. Orie is mad at Riku not because of the training, but because of Kaguya's behavior at home.
はい。最近、日中はずっとそわそわと落ち着かないご様子で。
What did I say? I'm psychic, you know. I can predict the future. The next thing Orie is gonna say is that that Kaguya is looking for that Kaguya feels like that it feels like Kaguya is looking forward to for coming over to Riku's house every night. God damn it. It feels like I've heard that before.
まるで夜が訪れるのを待ちかねていらっしゃるかのようにです。
I mean, I was gonna say it like that, but yeah, that too. Wait, I have. It's exactly what Amane said about me. So why is Orie so angry about it? I wonder why. It's almost like it's almost like Kaguya goes to meet you every evening at around the same time.
夜といえば、姫様はここのところ谷風さんのところへ通い詰め。
And unlike Amane, who doesn't know that Kaguya sees you every night, Orie is completely aware that she sees you every night because, well, it's kind of hard for Kaguya to not... It's kind of hard for Kaguya to sneak out of the house because, well, what would I call Orie? What? Because you know the dynamic between her and Kaguya it goes a lot deeper than just a servant and master role. You know?
となると、あなたの元へ向かうのが待ち遠しいのではと考え、姫様にお伺いしました。
Oh, and what did she say? She outright denied it.
別にそういうわけではないとのことでしたが、そのご返答とともに、お顔をそらされました。
I guess I shouldn't have said outright. She tried to deny it.
姫様が内心を隠す時の癖です。つまり、私には悟られたくない何かがある。そんな姫様は夜を待ちわびているご様子となるとです。
She glares at me with a sharp, almost audible glint in her eyes.
谷風さん。
Uh-huh. Yes?
まさかとは思いますが、お伺いします。姫様を手ごめにされてはいませんね。
I mean, I'm sure she wouldn't mind, but he has not. Sorry, violating?
無理やりに組み伏せて乱暴を働き、姫様を身も心も籠絡してはいませんかと聞いています。
So that's what she's been doing to him. But also, Aurier. Are you saying are you implying something here? Are she literally just brought up how Kaguya seems to be looking forward to coming over here every evening. Are you telling me that Kaguya is a secret sub? I mean, okay, maybe I shouldn't say a secret sub. It's not, it wouldn't be surprising if she was, alright? Because let's be real here. Every character that has that blatant teasing personality always ends up being a sub in the bedroom. Right? So, you know, I shouldn't be surprised that she would be into what Ore is saying. You know? No, wait, hold on. Of course I haven't.
女性として至上たる姫様を夜ごと迎えておいて何もしていないなどふざけているのですか?
God, you're the worst when it comes to Kaguya. Just calm down and think about it.
何をです?
Let's say, hypothetically, I did want to do that. I couldn't, since I like the function. I couldn't, since I like the functioning tool to do that. Warrior's eyes go wide before she collapses to the floor to prostrate herself before me.
そうでした。大変に失礼いたしました。
I hate that the song is called Loyal Servant, because listen, Ori is more than a servant. At least in Orie's eyes, she is more than a servant to Kaguya. This must be the world's fastest apology.
まさかと思ったらもう部屋を飛び出していまして、すっかりそのことが頭から飛んでいました。
Well, here's the thing, right? Ori isn't a tsundere, right? So she once confronted with, you know, how do I say this? In the case of if Ori really was a tsundere, right? After Riku tries to explain to Ori how he has no way of violating her, instead of outright apologizing to him, she would kind of skirt around the problem and be like, well, you know, and you know, and then she would kind of collapse on her own argument, and then she would reluctantly try to apologize to him, right? And then be like a cute kind of thing. But Ori isn't a tsundere, so it isn't out of her character to apologize this quickly.
確かにおっしゃる通り、 今の谷風さんに男の欲望を震えるはずがありません。
It's funny that she says right now. Because how do I even say it? You know, Ori is aware of the training that Kaguya is doing with him. Does that mean she is expecting the training to work? You know? Yeah, just glad you understand. She's apologizing to me, right? So why is she stabbing me in the heart at the same time? I'm struggling to hold back the tears. Okay. I would have understood where you were coming from if
バックログ画面だ。
she didn't say right now, right? If she just said, you can't wield your manly lust, Tanikaze, then I would understand. But, like, you're overreacting here. She said right now, which means she's expecting that you will in the future. I know saying anything would be more trouble than it's worth, so I keep quiet. So, we've cleared up the misunderstanding. We all good?
はい、この度は本当に申し訳。いえ、すみませんがもう少々。
I don't know what you're talking about. Listen, if you're talking about why the room smells like Kaguya, that has nothing to do with anything that's happening during the training sessions, alright? Have you not stabbed me in the heart enough?
そんなことをした覚えはありませんが。
Metaphorically. Sorry. Don't worry about it. Go on.
現在行っている特訓は、谷風さんの男性機能を取り戻すことが最終目標と聞き及んでいます。
Oh, you're talking about what happens after the training. Oh, thank God. I thought you were worried. I thought you were talking about the things that Kaguya does to him in this room.
つまり特訓を続けていけば、いつかはあなたの男性物件が再起するかもしれないということ。
Well, isn't that why you said yet? Never mind. Orie wasn't thinking straight when she said yet. When she said he can't control his manly functions yet.
そうなった時、姫様を手にかける可能性はゼロではありませんよね。
Well, you know, by the time he's able to control his manly functions is around the time that Kaguya is going to start dating him. So, you know, you won't have to worry about it. Orie slowly stands back up, the rage exuding from her once more. But this time, I don't let it get the better of me. Mainly because I'm not focused on it. For what she said, Kaguya must be waiting for nighttime as eagerly as I am. I now know that Kaguya wants me to get erect again, and she's coming here every night. What do you mean, and she's coming here every night? You know she's coming here every night. It's only the first part that you should be thinking about. So that means, once my Kaguya's working again, we might...
谷風さん。
don't worry about what I'm thinking. Orie's sharp call frees me from the thoughts whirling in my mind. I raise my head and look right into her glaring eyes. It's fine. I'd never do something like that. I couldn't anyway.
男性機能が戻ったのに姫様に烈情を催さないなんて不敬極まりないですね。
Only if she wants to. Wait. I didn't really catch what she was saying. You wouldn't unleash your lust on the princess even if your manly functions were restored. Does your treachery know no bounds? So let me get this straight. First of all, she was complaining about how Riku might be doing stuff to Kaguya during the training, which, you know, she quickly finds out that can't really happen because he doesn't really have he has erectile dysfunction. And now she's complaining about how Riku wouldn't do anything to the princess, even if he could get it up. I mean, I shouldn't be surprised. because this joke happened before, right? This joke happened before about how Riku was trying to console or was trying to comfort Orie and saying I wouldn't do anything to the princess, and then she got mad at him over that fact. But like, you know, oh come on, can you stop being so annoying?
しないならともかく、できないとは何ですか？できないとは！
I didn't think before speaking, but when she points it out, I realize what I said, and I'm overwhelmed by the embarrassment.
なぜそうなのかを伺わないことには私も帰れません。
Wait, hang on.
バックログ画面だ。
Okay, you wouldn't unleash, wouldn't, alright? That you wouldn't would be one thing, but what do you mean you couldn't? Okay, hang on a minute. Okay, we're getting into some English here, right? And I understand that the translations aren't really one-to-one, but with how it is translated, with this sentence, right, the wouldn't, couldn't, and with what Riku said, right, he says I couldn't anyway, that makes that works. But it's what Orie says after, which is, you know, she's basically quoting him, right? But she says wouldn't instead of couldn't. So somehow, because Orie clarifies, this turns into a grammatical error. Unlucky, you know. That's unfortunate. You know, that's unfortunate on the localizer's part. God, she's merciless. Cut me some slack, would you? I guess I'm going to have to be honest here. It's how do I put this?
Hi.
You know how this works. Yes, it's just common sense.
そういう言い訳じみた前置きはいりません。
Give me a break already.
なぜできないのですか？
The point is, I don't think I could do that unless we were in a relationship. I kind of didn't say that right.
バックログ画面だ。
I don't think I could do that unless we were in a relationship. Slightly better way of saying it. Her eyes open wide once more, and yet again the embarrassment floods over me. I know what she's thinking. She's got to be thinking it. That I'm some kind of hopeless romantic when it comes to love and sex. If only I could fight back the claim. There was nothing wrong with dreaming about the perfect outcome. And I know the truth. That answer made me sound like a total virgin.
なんと。
And
なんと素晴らしい紳士的なお考え。
there you go. I was about to say I'm sure Orie would appreciate how you're talking about how you're thinking about romance instead of just sex with Kaguya, right? Especially since she's from a fucking she's from a place that's not medieval era, but has the architecture and culture. But at least they're, you know, hygienic.
正直見直しました。谷風さんは男性の鏡です。今までの無礼な発言をお詫びします。いや、安心です。それを伺って心の底から安堵し、信頼が芽生えました。
Orie really is annoying. But she's annoying in a cute way. Kaguya's route is doing Kaguya's route is doing to Orie what Kakunuke, what every other route in Kakunuke is doing to Hibiki, right? What I mean by that is, I didn't really like Orie in her route, but that's because they were trying to go about it very quickly, right? The relationship between Orie and Riku was developing way too quickly. In Kakunuke's case, Hibiki's route made her look really bad, but she is much better in every other character's routes. In Orie's case, this exchange was this one exchange between Orie and Riku in Kaguya's route makes me like her so much more than the entirety of her route. Right? I know I'm saying it in a confusing way, but you get what I mean, right?
谷風さん、今後とも姫様をよろしくお願いいたします。ではこれにて失礼します。
Yeah, she's I think it's because Orie's character in her route is so much different from how she normally is. Right, that I didn't really like her that much in her route, especially because the personality changed so much so quickly. Right, it was basically like 2 scenes before she started liking she started liking Riku more. At least here, the development in the relationship happened in front of us, right? We got to see the shift in her judgment, in her thinking of Riku. Oh, sure. And then she leaves. Orie leaves us, looking extremely satisfied. I couldn't really describe the mood I've been left in. Part of me is conflicted that she actually found my attitude commendable, but I think the real issue is I've been forced to reflect on myself. All you need to worry about is, well, all you need to get from that exchange is that at least Orie approves of your relationship with Kaguya. Right? If you end up dating each other, she gives you her blessing. That's all you need to get from that. When Orie first mentioned the possibility of me getting it up again, my mind started to whirl. Everything I said to her is what I truly feel. We're not in a relationship, so it would be wrong to try anything. I truly do believe that. But say hypothetically, if I were able to get an erection again, and if I got one in response to Kaguya, I'm likely to immediately try something. I think it over again from start to finish, and arrive at the same conclusion. Well, not exactly. I made a slight addendum. If Kaguya wanted it to, then I'd definitely go for it. But by that point, I'd be too far gone to even consider that we shouldn't be doing it. And I know that because of how restless I've been. It's not unusual, it's even, it's natural even for these things to make you restless. Especially when you're dealing with a girl as impeccably attractive as Kaguya. Even more so when that girl is exhausting every effort to help me regain my manhood, or because she wants to get closer to me. I'm doing the breathy voice again. This is something that's been hitting home night after night. I mean, I'm trying to make it fit. But once again, I'm worried about how it sounds. Even though it probably works, but with how the filters I have are set up, it might sound worse than never mind. And Kaguya, this is exactly what I meant. If anything, it's even worse tonight.
もうそんな顔してそこまでたまらなくなってくれているのね。
Kaguya whispers her own struggles to resist. Kaguya whispers her own struggles to resist painted across her face. This is what she's been waiting so eagerly for. I know she's been restless all day waiting for this, and the thought of that is making emotions well up within me. But that's even more reason not to give in. I must endure this. I have to. And to begin with, our secret training regimen, regime, yeah, already had me intolerably aroused. The only reason I've been able to resist this more extreme version, albeit through clenched teeth, is because of the experience I've built up. Anymore though, and I'll be done for. I don't know if she can read my mind or what, but...
だったらこうしたらどんな顔してくれるの？見せて。
She started to nibble on my ear. A brand new stimulus, unlike any I've ever experienced before, and it makes me shudder. I instinctively tense up from head to toe. Oh God. Okay, this is one of those times where I can skip over it. Her breath grazes against my ear as she toys with my nipples and grinds her thigh against my crotch. I've always served the full course.
体こんなに突っ張らせて本当に可愛い人。
バックログ画面だ。
I mean, yeah, okay. I know why I thought I said it the wrong way.
もっと突っ張らせてあげる。
Okay, like the last time, I could skip that one. Pleased by the way I am reacting, her caress grows even more enthusiastic.
もっともっと特訓しちゃいましょう。
She is being very enthusiastic about this. Sure, let's go with that. Oh, come on. This is just foreplay at this point. I internalized the scream. It's taken everything. It's taken everything I have to prevent the arousal bubbling up inside me from bursting through the dam. Fuck. This is bad. The moaning does not help. Alright. What the hell has gotten into her? It seems obvious that she's intent on destroying all the walls I've built up to protect myself. See, here's the thing, right? She isn't even trying to tease him anymore. She's just straight. She's just really into it, right? At this point, the way she's coming onto me is so intense. That has to be why. Yeah, there's no other reason why she wants to do this. It's definitely. She's definitely only doing this for the training side of things and not because of her and not for her own desires. And my mind feels like it's physically shaking. I can't believe what's happening. Kaguya just grabbed hold of my arm and guided my hand right into her cleavage. Right into her cleavage. My hand is enveloped, no, squished between two slightly sweaty, but warm and soft mounds. She suppresses a giggle that resounds like a bell, being stifled. It tickles at my earlobe. The addition of my hand has caused her ample breasts to squish out of shape. They begin to spill out of her clothes. I get just the slightest glimpse of her bright pink nipples. Okay, I'm sure at this point the CG shows nipple, I guess. I hope. I say I hope, but it's gonna be a while before I actually see the CG. Or, I guess, the stages of the CG. Right? I'm too curious not to know what the actual CG looks like, but, you know, which part of the CG shows up with each session, you know, I won't find out for anytime soon.
あなたの手、こんな風にして、私がゾクゾクしてしまっているわ。
Apparently, she's more aroused over having his hand in between her tits than having it on them, as in groping them. Her whispers are sweet, enraptured. My mind was already blank. Now she's gone and finished me off. But not in that way. Unfortunately, she can't finish you off in that way. A crimson flame floats amid the darkness. It explodes outwards, with a heat that burns through my entire being. Well, this is unfortunate. This is unfortunate. I mean, look. I shouldn't be surprised that there will be a moment where they get caught. And, you know, third time's the charm, right? This is the third time we've had this scene. Each time we've had this scene, Kaguya has gotten more and more touchy. Let's go with that. She's gotten more and more touchy with Riku, while being less and less teasy about it. So it shouldn't be surprising that she's gone too far this time, and now is becoming Diablo. He's gonna become Diablo. Unless I'm thinking too hard, unless I'm thinking too deeply about it, and this is only just to indicate that he can get hard again. But he won't turn into Diablo. I mean, I say that, but this is this is the direct indication that he turns into Diablo. I don't know what I'm talking about. An explosion of matter sends me flying from the bed. My instincts kick in. I assume a defensive position and use the momentum to spring back to my feet. No shit, Sherlock. His clothes have changed, his muscles are bulging, the whites of his eyes have gone dark, and horns have sprouted from his head, and then there's the tremendous matter exuding from him. I went too far, but now's not the time to feel sorry for myself. Kaguya. The demonized Riku pants wildly as he staggers ever closer to me. Kaguya. Yeah, specifically the sense of morality. It's only then that I notice it. Riku's crotch. It shouldn't be like that. There's a... Why do you have to describe it? There's a girthy bulge protruding from it, almost club-like, except for how it curves backwards. He's erect. Well, yeah, what'd you expect? Okay, never mind. Dispossessed of his senses, he continues to approach me. And yet, I feel no sense of danger. It's exultation that makes the breath catch in my throat. My heart beats tremendously fast as instinctive, almost primal thoughts come to the forefront of my mind.
理性を失って真っ先に私を襲おうとしている。
Listen, Kaguya, I just brought up how people that are that have that sort of teasing personality are very submissive in the bedroom, right? You didn't need to confirm it so quickly. You didn't need to confirm the trope so quickly.
それって私は性的な意味であなたに欲してもらえているということ。ずっと男性機能が戻ったら私をと求めてくれていたの。
Grr, murr. I don't know what the murr would be. He comes to a halt, grasping his head and squirming in agony. It's as if a fragment of his consciousness remains and is trying desperately to stop himself. I simply stand there, watching in what feels like amazement. I can feel the pattern of my heart right inside my head. My whole body, cheeks included, are burning hot.
どうしたんだリク。
It took a while for Noah to finally show up. But I'm sure that Noah's going to be confused as to why Kaguya is also here.
そうだよ、いい迷惑だよ。こんな時間になんで前世帰りなんか。
Well, let's just say the reason why he transmigrated is in this very room.
って、かぐやさん？
The two burst into the room, and I'm still motionless. The strength has already left my knees. My heart alone hammers along as hard as ever.
細かい話は後だ。とにかく今は。
He's fighting the demons, but not in his head because they've already been ejected out of his body.
それで。
How would you even say? The demon in his head would be Diablo, but after the transmigration, the roles would be reversed, right? Never mind. The joke doesn't work anymore.
どうして二人だけで特訓を再開させていたんだ？
No, next question. Can we skip that question? Noah's pressed my mana and returned me to normal, which means that we're going to have to explain ourselves to her. Kagi and I had kneeled side by side on the floor. We proceeded to explain how we were training to ultimately restore the functions of my manhood. Okay, and I'm sure Amane is going to put two and two together and realize why he was so excited about the evening. Noah's anger is understandable, given that we were using the fox mask to deceive her. Listen, there's no we in this. I mean, sure, I guess you were complicit in it, but Kaguya was the one who ultimately decided to use the fox mask.
っていうかさ、夜ごとに二人で内緒の特訓って。前にかぐやさん家でお兄をハーレム状態にしてやってたみたいなことをしてたんでしょ？そりゃお兄が最近昼からそわそわしてたはずだ。立たなくても男は男ってことね。はあ、なんだかな。
Listen, think about it from his perspective, alright? Sure, he's been having this secret training, quote unquote, every night, but ultimately, he's been getting blue balls every night because he can't finish. He can't release. I simply have to kneel there and take all of Amani's exasperated grumblings. I could tell them that I was still conscious when Diablo took over. I was doing everything I could to stop myself, but that wouldn't make things any better.
かぐやだったらどれほど危険なことかわからないはずがない。 そうだね。
そうね。
けど、元の体に戻りたいリクの気持ちも、その力になりたいかぐやの気持ちもわかる。だから、せめて僕にも相談してほしかった。今後は伏せないでいてくれるかい？
See, the problem is Noah doesn't understand. Noah doesn't know the deeper layer to this, right? Sure, on the surface, Kaguya was doing this training to restore his manhood, but in reality, the bigger reason as to why Kaguya was doing this was, well, I think you can. I think you know where I'm going with this, considering how she reacted to seeing that Riku was getting hot to her. All right, and how the secret training turned directly into foreplay. It was just foreplay. The secret training they did just before was just foreplay. She wasn't even teasing him at that point.
本当にあらゆる意味でごめんなさい。
She was just as horny as he was. Alright. Kaguya's response lacks any sort of spirit. Her shoulders are slumped. Shame is written all over her face. Gone is the majestic princess we normally see.
確かに危険すぎたし、身勝手すぎたわ。
身勝手？どういう意味だ？
もうこんなことはしないから。重ねごめんなさい。帰るわね。
もうバレたんだから、玄関から帰ればよかったのに。
She left immediately without explaining what she meant by selfish. I hope I'm not reading into this too much, but shut the fuck up, Riku. Like, at this point, you need to shut the fuck up about, I hope I'm not reading into this too much. Because every time he says, I hope I'm not reading into this too much, it's literally, you aren't reading into it too much. When, like I said, this is one of those times where it really is that deep. Alright? Fucker.
まあ、かぐやはこれで大丈夫だろう。元来、思慮深い女性のはずだからね。
Well, yeah. She usually is. If it wasn't for the fact that she is really into Riku.
そんな人がなんでこんなってのはあるけど、とにかくお兄。
Don't look at me like that. Huh? What? Oh. I'm terribly sorry for all the trouble I've caused you, and it will never happen again, I swear. I bowed deeply and apologized to the two girls, albeit far later than I should have done. Maybe you should also apologize to, Kurumi. She also transgraded too, so I'm one of the culprits here. I should have known that an apology from Kaguya alone wouldn't be enough for...
今さらそういうのはいいから。
Wait, you don't?
それよりも、和本、聞きたいんだけど。かぐやさんと具体的にどんな特訓してたわけ？お兄は。
That's confidential. just like Kaguya to Orie, the training is confidential. Oh, we were just...
お兄には報告義務があるよね。ノアちゃん。
Well, shit. You got him there.
その通り、今後に備えるために、報告してもらわないとね。つまり決して単なる個人的な好奇心ではないからくれぐれも誤解しないでほしい。
Sure.
私は迷惑かけられたんだから聞く権利あると思うんだけど。 それを言ったら、僕もリクを守る立場として聞く義務がある。
Listen, girls. I know you're jealous that Kaguya has been able to do things that you two haven't been able to Riku, but you've already had your chance, alright? You were the first two you were the first two people he dated. So, you know, you've already had your time in the spotlight.
さあ、話しちゃおっか、エロお兄。
Hey, hold up. Who said anything about about sexual stuff happening?
違うの？
Well, look, all right.
やっぱりそうなんだね。ハレンチなことを、毎夜のようにかぐやと。なんて罪深い。
Look, just be glad that they haven't been having sex every night, because he couldn't. he wishes he could, and Kaguya also wishes he could, but they couldn't.
お兄、罪深いとか言われてるけど、実際のとこは？ああ、逃げた！
He's running away from his own room. No shit. How the hell am I meant to tell you two about any of it?
おっと、逃がさないよ。
Why do you have to be able to go through the floor?
わかった。じゃあ、どれ系の同人誌に近いかだけでもいいから。
I hate that I'm thinking about that. Listen. The problem is, this is me talking, right? And not me through Riku's perspective. I can picture exactly what kind of dojin the special training, the secret training Kaguya and Riku were going through, right? The only problem is the title of it I wouldn't remember. I've definitely read a dojin like that. I just don't know the title of it. It wasn't like a dojin, it was.
ってあんたたち夜中にドタバタ騒いでんじゃないの
So that's why I forgot her name. I forgot Riku's mom was named Yuzuki because the main character from Amaro Chocolate is also named Yuzuki. God damn it. My savior, you heard her. Enough of-
ごめんお母さん、静かにするから。ノアちゃん、やっておしまいなさい。
Oh, hell no.
了解した。てーい。
You use force. No, put me back down. Stop.
いいからおとなしく自白室に連行されなよ。
Oh, hell no. But we don't have a confession booth at home. Mommy, help me.
まあ夏休みだしお父さんが起きなきゃ許してあげますか。私もうるさくても寝れるし。
Why aren't you listening to me, Mother? Mother dearest, don't abandon your eldest son.
っていうかね、そこまで必死で隠されると逆に気になるっての。ノアちゃん、連行。
Don't agree with her. They dragged me away into the confession booth, Amani's room, where I firmly maintain my right to silence. They can torture me if they want, if they want, but I'll never speak, not a single word. And especially not about tonight's training in particular. Even though that's...
天使創造リブート。
Okay, you need to stop doing the swimsuit one. Especially since that's the kind of training they're expecting you to talk about specifically. A week has passed. My throat is dying. And this is when I normally would end stream. But this ain't one of those times. But what it is I'll be right back. I need to fucking rest my throat for a bit. And a bit, I mean like a few minutes.
リク、かぐやは昨夜も来ていないんだね。
Yeah, and whose fault is that? Nope, not once.
そうか。ならよかった。僕の話を分かってくれたという証だ。
Oh. I thought you would have felt bad for her, but apparently it's a good thing that she isn't back, that she hasn't come back.
だったらかぐやは、これから何かする気になれば、僕にも必ず連絡をくれるはずだ。逆に、彼女から連絡がないのなら、僕が出張る必要もないだろう。何せリクは、本当に部屋からほぼ出ないからね。夏休みは助かる。僕も気が抜けるよ。というわけで、あまねの部屋に行ってくるね。読みかけのシリーズを読破しないと。
Noah leaves the living room, seeming thoroughly relieved. Yet, as I watch her go, I'm left feeling somewhat unsatisfied. It's not a new feeling. It's been there all week. Because Kaguya hasn't been back once. I take my phone out of my pocket. Then I unlock it, and boot up my messaging app and click on the entry Hoshikawa Kaguya. Our conversation history is blank. We never did end up texting each other after we swapped numbers.
私はこうすることの他にあなたとのつながりがないもの。
The words she spoke to me flicker across my mind.
接する理由がない。
She was right. The same goes for me. There's nothing else connecting us. Our empty conversation history proves as much. And it will stay this way unless something changes. Is this what I want? I'm on a tense haze hanging over my head, hanging over my heart. Is this what I want? Is this what Kaguya wants? And I gather my resolve and write my first ever text to Kaguya. Apprehensively, I press send. Do you mind if I come over?
いらっしゃい、リク。来てくれて嬉しいわ。
Kaguya immediately responded with a yes, and gives me the warmest welcome when I do arrive. Perhaps she was waiting for me to text her this whole time.
けど、今日はどうしたの？初めてリーンでメッセージをくれた上で、うちに来るなんて。
Oh, you know, I don't really have an answer to that. Because I'm not really sure of myself. I could tell her it's because I felt all antsy, but I doubt she'd understand.
どうであれ、リクから進んできてくれたのは、本当に嬉しい。
She reads the room and pushes the conversation forward without prying further.
オリエ、お茶の用意をお願い。私はお茶受けを買ってくるわ。
We engage in light conversation as we partake in tea and snacks, which in this household means household means out and in. After making tea for us, Oria retreats into a separate room. I think she's actually being considerate of us. Considerate for once. She did decide that I wasn't a threat the other day. No, it's more so she approves of your relationship with her. While I'm pondering all this.
ここのところすっかり、あなたのところに行けていなくてごめんなさいね。
She bows to me. I guess she was waiting for the right moment to bring it up. Hey, it's not your fault. I try to remain casual about it. It really isn't her fault after all. If we were to continue our training after what happened last time, then Noah would have to be present. Although that would make it a whole lot safer. So really I should want that. I think I kind of know why Kaguya hasn't been coming over. But I really shouldn't be thinking too deeply about this right now. All sorts of thoughts are going to end up racing through my mind, and then I'm going to find it difficult to look Kaguya in the face.
あんなことになった以上、まさかとは思うけど、今日はその代わりにここでということ？
No. That's not why I'm here.
そうよね。ごめんなさい。さっき言いあぐねていたようだったから、ついいろいろ考えてしまって。
You know, Kaguya may have read the room and not brought up the subject, but maybe you should read the room now as well. Yeah, right. That was my bad. I don't know. I just came here to see you. I always managed to explain things to the extent that I understand them myself. But even doing that makes me feel embarrassed. However... Kaguya's face lights up like a Christmas tree. Then she stands up and walks over to the sofa I'm sitting on. Before plopping herself down right beside me. Suddenly, we're right next to each other. My heart starts to race. I have to make sure it doesn't show on my face. And I think to myself, but right then...
Hi.
Kaguya turns to face me and raises her head a little. What?
私の顔、お好きなだけどうぞってことよ。
Oh, that's not what the saying means. It's more like hanging out with someone.
それくらい知っているわ。
Then what is she doing? Am I being teased right now? Maybe she was just looking for an excuse to come and sit next to me.
そうそう。聞いて。あなたに会ったら話そうと思っていたの。アプリストアにいくつか面白そうなゲームがあったから、とりあえず一つインストールしたんだけど。
Oh, wow. You've developed an interest in games now. Which one was it?
第六感覚だったかしら。
Go fuck yourself. I shouldn't be surprised that they brought up Dead by Daylight again, but still... Oh, that's outside my field of expertise. Amane would... Wait, no. She's a solo player. She only plays co-op with Koibari, even that's reluctantly. I wonder if the two of them have been gaming together now. And we're on summer break... now that we're on summer break, I kind of want to find out.
そうなのね。だったら私もやめておこうかしら。でも、あなたもゲームはやるんでしょ？
I did when I was a kid. Not so much nowadays. Thanks for the hydrate. And the stretch. Occasionally I'll play with Amane though. Console games mainly.
据え置き機。電気店のゲーム売り場にあったゲーム専用機のことかしら。
Yeah, those. I also have my PC.
PC はパソコンよね。パソコンでもゲームができるのね。据え置き機とはどう違うの？どんなものをやっているの？
Well, let's just say you can play a lot more games on a PC than just than a console. Forget I mentioned my PC. Consoles are more popular nowadays. That's not true.
忘れてくれと言われると気になってしまうわ。PC ゲーム。
Yeah, mostly Erogay. Well, wait, please, I'm begging you. Just don't Google it, whatever you do.
顔真っ赤よ。
Please just ignore that too.
ああ、PC はいやらしいゲームもあるのね。
Hey, Kaguya.
気にすることはないじゃない。男性ならむしろ当然だと思うわ。
I am eternally grateful for your tolerance and understanding, but allow me to correct the record. They have porn games for women too. I mean, you are you trying to throw Amane under the bus with you? Because, like, the kind of smut she has is for guys as well. I wasn't telling you to Google it. Wait, are you interested in them?
あったらダメなの？
I mean, it's fine, but like...
顔、さっきよりさらに真っ赤よ。
Please just ignore that.
もう。
We end up engaging in stupid conversations like this one for a while until...
そうそう。私ったら、最初からあなたに抱きついてしまったのよね。
Yeah, that sure was a surprise. But like, I don't know, the sun has begun to set and we found ourselves talking about how we first met. You've done so much to help me since you've got here. You're still helping now. Thank you for everything. I mean it.
どういたしまして。
You know, thinking about it now, I get that you had your reasons, but I still can't believe a princess decided to cross between worlds. We were just casually reminiscing, but that comment changes everything. Kaguya furrows her brows. Did I say something I shouldn't have? Well, how do I explain this? So basically, Riku, Kaguya doesn't want you to see her as a princess. You feel me? There's a reason she does what she does. Other than because she likes you, but also because, well, the reason she started doing it is because it's probably the opposite of the type of personality she had in the other world. But that part is speculation. The part where she was, the reason she was doing it before, and by before I mean when she was doing it every night in his room, that was because she was really into him. But the first time around with the training, right, that was meant to be actual training, I guess. See, why she did that, I don't know.
ああ、そういうわけじゃないわ。ごめんなさい。変なリアクションをしてしまって。
Okay. Okay. But there's something you're not telling me, isn't there?
ええ。実はね、私がこっちに渡ってきたのは、あなたに会う以外にもう一つ理由があったの。そうね。どこから話そうかしら。
Kaguya proceeds to reveal the second reason she had for coming to this world.
私の国、スネーウ国の王。お父様は ここ数年病気がちでね。
Uh-huh. Is this the classic trope of Kaguya has... Kaguya's dad wants to find a suitor for Kaguya, but Kaguya doesn't like any of them.
だから王家は今、恥ずかしながら、いわゆる後継者争いの真っ最中なの。
Right. And of course, Kaguya being his only daughter, I guess, potentially can't possibly become the queen of Snow. I don't remember how to pronounce it. Right? Can't possibly become the queen, right? So of course, he has to become married to someone who is a potential king candidate.
王位継承権第1位は、第一王子である兄様なのだけど。
Okay, well there's... Okay, hang on, let me wait for her to finish.
下手をすれば、兄様を凌駕するほど、私を次期女王に推す者が多いのよ。
Okay. Well, thankfully I was wrong. Right? The common trope is that the king having a daughter means that she can't succeed the throne, right? And only a king can. So at least she has the potential to become the queen. But the only problem is that she's the younger daughter. So, the line of succession doesn't really work in her favor.
自分で言うのもなんだけど、兄弟で私が一番万事に才能があったから。
So that means there's infighting in the royal family between you and your brother over who gets to take the throne?
兄様は即座にそう認識したようね。私が自分の地位を脅かすつもりなのだと。自分はすでに王政府に参画している身なのに、大女女に過ぎない私を推す者は増える一方だったし。
That goes to show how much more talented you are, I guess.
兄様自身が自分と取り巻きの利益を優先しがちな人だったのもあったと思うわ。
Right. So the people that don't agree with that have all banded together to support you.
ついでに、父王も私を後継者としたいお考えを謹慎に漏らされていたらしいという噂もあって。
Yeah, I can see why the first prince wouldn't like that.
ええ。業を煮やして強引な手を打ってきたくらいにね。
Like what?
病気が悪化したお父様を保護するという名目で酒税を動かし、実質的に幽閉してしまったのよ。その上で秘密裏に私の排斥にも乗り出してきて。
Removed as in...
理想としては暗殺でしょうね。
What the...
私は王位を継ぐ気はないから、濡れ衣というか、いい迷惑に尽きるわ。けど、そう言っても無駄でしょうし、どうあれ、身の危険がある以上は、座視してもいられない。つまり、こっちに渡ってきたのは、身の安全を確保するためでもあったのよ。
This is far more serious than I imagined. I don't even know what to say. But Kaguya just smiles sweetly at me.
もちろん、あなたに会いたかったのが、一番の理由だったのは揺るぎないから、安心して。
Kaguya.
あなたに会うために、世界を渡る準備を進めていたところで、情勢が今話したようになったの。なら一石二鳥というのは変だけど、ただそれだけのことよ。
Why did you do it? I feel compelled to ask. to ask.
どうしてって、何が？
Like, why did you want to meet me so badly that you'd cross into this world to do it? Why did you want to get to know me? From what she said, Kaguya would have come to this world even if she weren't in any danger. Just being a royal princess would make her a very important person in that country, even more so with all the people supporting her to become queen. So I asked the same question she had avoided the other day. Why do all this for me?
海水浴の時にも軽く話したと思うけど。
Yeah, but you know, that was a long time ago. I kind of forgot what she actually said.
私はもともと魔王に対して憧れのような感情を抱いていたの。
Okay, I mean, I kind of understand that part, but I don't think that's the real reason. An adoration.
バカにしてるわけじゃない。ただ、魔王の生まれ変わりって聞いて、いろんなことを想像したの。実際にはどんな人だったのか、恐ろしい性格だったのか、意外とひょうきんだったのか。何？
I, just figured you meant you were curious.
もちろん短所は興味からよ。私にとっては身近な存在だったし。
He was.
そもそも魔王とは、もともとスネーウ国の魔族の王の肩書きなのよ。
Wait, but...
彼の死後に諸国との講和が成立し、大戦が終結して、スネーウ国は彼に代わって我がシュトリア家が滑ることになった。けど、魔王の肩書きは引き継がなかったの。むしろ、絶対に引き継ぐわけにはいかなかった。争いを大きくした存在である魔王は、もはや恐怖の象徴そのものになっていたから、他国と平和的な関係を再構築していきたい、シュトリア朝スネーウ国の国是とは反するのよ。
I get it. But that makes it even harder to understand.
何がかしら。
You were born into the country years later, right? So why did you start to adore Diablo instead of fear him?
こう見えて私、勉強家なの。我が家が魔王と徹底して逆を行くなら、魔王についてもきちんと知っておくべきでしょ？だから、可能な限りに文献を漁ったり、魔王を直に知る古老たちから話を聞いたりして、単なる恐怖の象徴ではない。むしろ、傑物だったんじゃって感じて、興味が好意に変わったの。調べるほどにその好意は増して、いつの間にか憧れのような感情になっていた。
That's why you cross between worlds?
ええ。今、あなたとここでこうしているの。
She smiles sweetly as she comes to a conclusion. I have a clearer view of the whole picture now. But for some reason, hearing all this has just made the haze worse.
気に入らない？
Kaguya, think about it from his perspective, alright? So, you, as you are, have done certain things to Riku, right? But now he is finding out the reason you are doing those things is because he is Diablo. Right? So, what you're basically telling him is that if he wasn't Diablo, you wouldn't care about him. Right? That's not what I'm not saying it in a way that it's a definitive thing that Kaguya is doing, but the way she is saying it to him it's that's how it comes across to him. Riku, that is. No, it's not that.
だったら何か引っかかるかしら。私も私なりにあなたを見つめてきたから表情を読み取る自信も多少はついたんだけど、どう？
Observing is putting it mildly.
そう？
You pressed yourself against me, against me night after night.
そう言ってくれるってことは何が引っかかったか教えてくれるってことよね。
She tilts her head to the side and looks at me through upturned eyes, clearly enjoying this. I throw my hands up in surrender. I do everything I can to stifle my embarrassment as I speak. It's, your fondness and adoration and stuff. That's all for Diablo, not for Tanikaze Riku, right? I'm well aware that my cheeks are burning red right now. I feel like a jealous kid. I wish I'd never asked. She places her crystalline crystalline hands on both of my burning cheeks. And then she looks me right in the eyes, smiling all the while.
それは違うわ。
All the doubts I've been having, she gently denies. Huh?
魔王への恋や憧れは発端にしか過ぎない。そして魔王とあなたは別人。私が今見つめているのはあなた。つまり私は今谷風陸という男性に好意を抱いているのよ。
Okay, I mean, listen, I understand that it makes sense that she clears up the understanding this quickly, but like, you know, wouldn't it make for a more interesting thing if they let the misunderstanding linger for a bit longer, you know, add a bit of conflict to the mix, you know, more conflict than the fact that Noah really doesn't understand that Kaguya really is really into Riku, and the whole reason she was doing the quote-unquote secret training is because she really wants to be with Riku, but, you know, doesn't have a way to naturally get with him without the possibility of backlash, I guess, from her side of the family, her family, or I don't know how to explain it. Yeah, I guess mainly her family. She declares that without any room for misinterpretation. The words catch in my throat. I can feel my cheeks burning hotter against her touch. Instantly, my heart starts to race. I can feel every beat hammering loudly in my ears. The state I'm in finally brings me enlightenment. That's what I wanted to say. It's all too obvious now. I feel the same. I like Kaguya too. It all makes sense now. This isn't just lust. I'm not simply attracted to her physically. It's her personality, the way she acts, the way she speaks, the way she looks at me. All of those are what attract me to her so strongly. I think it's already love. That's what made me come here. It all makes sense now. All of the confusion, the awkwardness, the restlessness, and that antsy feeling. It's because this is my first love. I think it over slowly, taking in what that means. There's no stopping my racing heart now. After that, they really didn't have a They really didn't have a fucking transition with Kaguya in anyone else's clothes. Like, you know, you could have done it in you know, Viz's or you know, Noah's, even if the chest might be a bit too big, or you know, Slay's, right? You know, Karumi's chest is at least slightly more on par than Amane's, or, well, I brought up Amane's because her chest is pretty big too. But, you know, never mind.
Riku!
Sorry to keep you waiting, and for always asking you to come out with me.
迷惑だったら応じてはいないわ。最近ね、リーンのメッセージ着信音が鳴るだけでもう楽しくなってしまうのよ。
Okay, you don't need to blatantly point out that you like him without saying you like him, okay? Well, I'm glad I started texting you and asking you out, but when are you going to ask her out? You know, unless he already did, unless he already did, and they just they had a hate scene. Because here's the thing, right? Every time we get to, well, no, I guess technically with Fumika and Orie, he confessed to them before the H scene, right? But with Noah, at least with Amane, right? Amane, definitely with Amane, they were they were about to confess to each other. They had the hate scene, and then they were together after the hate scene, right? So, like, is that going to be the same thing here? Are they already dating right now, and we just skipped over a hate scene? Who knows? Shall we get going?
行きましょう。
I've been texting Kaguya frequently to ask her to hang out. Well, it's part of my attempt to court her, though I'm sure that much is obvious. I've been looking up all sorts of things online, stuff that I never had the slightest interest in before. I'd die if Amane discovered how to have fun with a girl in my search history. In any case, my efforts seem to be paying off, as Kaguya hasn't turned me down once as of yet. Today we decided to go to a small independent theater that was showing a classic romance flick. Now we're on our way home.
今日も送ってくれて嬉しいわ。
I mean, it's nighttime, so it's just common courtesy.
また可愛い顔して。もう。帰宅時間は織江に伝えてあるから、今日はこのまま家に寄ってお茶を飲んでいって。
Oh, sure, if you're offering. By the way, Kaguya.
何?
What did you think of the movie?
面白かったわ。内容もだけど、そもそも映画というもの自体が。初体験だったけど、テレビとはまるで違う。そう。まさに体験よね、あれは。
Yeah, but it's an expensive experience, that's the problem.
楽しくないわけがないわ。あなたが連れて行ってくれるところは、全部楽しい。
That's good to hear. Having said that, I'm pretty sure Kaguya is one of those people who can find fun in anything. Which means I'm not sensing anything particularly romantic in her words. Maybe I just need to man up and take a step forward. Yes, you should, because she already likes you. I don't think you need to convince her more. I don't think you need to try to convince her more, because she was definitely into you way before you realized you were into her. But on the other hand, I start to think to myself, and that's when it happens.
危ない
What? Kage rushes toward me. I initially think she's pulling me into a hug, only for her to leap forward with me in her arms. Not a moment later, a sharp, seemingly translucent arrow pierces the space we were just occupying. But that's not all. Kaguya, still holding me in her arms, jumps off to the side. A moment later, comes the sound of something slicing through the air again behind us. Kaguya rolls into a perfect landing, letting go of me and positioning herself to protect me in one smooth motion. She stares off over it. A figure slowly rising from the ground. They're covered in some tattered cloak, a hood hiding their face. One of their hands clasps a particularly shaped dagger that's equally as translucent as the arrow from earlier. From what they're wearing, it's clear they're not from this world, which means, again,
のようね。下がっていて。
they're an assassin after Diablo's manner. Or, okay, listen, maybe, or they're an assassin after Kaguya. Kaguya takes a step forward to position herself in front of me. As magical flames burst to life in her hand.
無駄よ。この私がいる限り。
Kaguya! Now it's my turn to pull her out of the way. The assassin's dagger cuts through the air, just barely missing her.
狙いは私なの？
Well, yeah, what would you call it? It's not Chekhov's gun. Chekhov's assassin. Let's go with that one. You just brought up that your brother was trying to assassinate you. Of course, the next time an assassin shows up, it has to be for you. The assassin leaps back to create some distance between us, but doesn't answer. Their eyes, only vaguely visible from under their hood, remain locked squarely on Kaguya the entire time. That proves it. Kaguya, stand back. This time, I stand in front of her. She's visibly shaken. Sure, there's nothing I can do, but I'm not going to let her get hurt. Why are you after her? Forget it. It doesn't matter.
なるほど。わかったわ。
Huh?
一見して判別できないようにはしているようだけど。そのナイフの意匠は確か、スネーウ国、南辺境伯領に少数残っている、呪具商のものよね。そして、ついでに言えば、あなた、頭の角を隠しきれていないわよ。
Well, I'm sure it'd be hard to hide your horns if he's wearing a hood, so... That short interval was enough time for Kaguya to regain her composure. She throws one sharp observation after the next at the assassin.
さすがは格が姫。
どういたしまして。
お覚悟。
そうね。
I hadn't even noticed the horns. Kaguya is ridiculously observant. She was so confident in a declaration that the assassin was forced to admit it. And since he has horns, that means...
我が国からの、私を狙った魔族の資格。
Yes, of course. So does that mean...
南辺境伯は、あの人の最大の支援者の一人。つまり、あなたを差し向けたのは、まず兄様で間違いないわね。
The first prince who's decided Kaguya is a threat to his ascension to the throne. She told me that part of the reason she came here was because she was afraid assassins would be sent after her. Only for her brother to end up dispatching them into this world.
どうやって私の居場所を突き止めたのか。さすがに察しがつかないし、 あなたに聞いても答えてはくれないでしょうから、聞かないけど。どうあれ、私がこっちにいると分かったなら、兄様としては、むしろ好都合よね。スネーブ国内で暗殺したなら、事後処理に強引な手を使う必要があったでしょうけど、こっちでなら、楽に処理できる。不慮の事故やら何やらと、いくらでもごまかせる。となれば、多少の無理をしてでも、あなたを渡らせる価値はあるというもの。
I mean, it took him long enough. How long did it take him to, was all that time just trying to find where she went, you know? So that's what's gonna happen. That's what's going on. Still, just working that out doesn't.
そんなところだと思うんだけど、どうかしら。
It doesn't do anything to stay his dagger. The assassin produces another translucent arrow, only this one is as long as a full spear. And he fires it right at her. Kaguya! I immediately jump to protect her, but she pushes me to the side.
燃え尽きろ!
In that same movement, she brandishes her flames, firing them off toward the hurtling spear. She twists her wrist and jams it forward.
はぜ!
She stops just before finishing her action. The assassin has suddenly popped up right in front of her eyes. He swings his blade, slashing repeatedly through the airs. He closes in on Kaguya. She brings her flame-enveloped hand up to protect herself, but his dagger tears right through it. The dagger gets even closer.
はぜよ!
Kaguya grabs a hold of me, produces another flame. It produces more flames and directs them at her feet. She uses the momentum of the resulting explosion to launch us far out of the assassin's range. Sorry, Kaguya.
私こそ、反撃はおろか、防がせてもくれない遠近二段攻撃なんてね。
Okay, well, I don't think you need to defend him, considering that, you know, I don't think the assassin perceives him as a threat. I don't even think the assassin is gonna use Riku as a fucking hostage, bargaining chip, victim, something like that. You can't block his dagger then?
ええ、逃げを打つので精一杯。あの呪具、氷のナイフはちょっとまずいわ。
So that translucent dagger is made of magical ice? And it was able to easily slice right through Kaguya's flames.
兄様にしては抜かりないじゃない。それほど必殺を期しているということかしら。
She flashes me a confident smile, but even I can tell we're in deep shit. There's a good chance our next attempt to dodge won't be so successful. All the confidence in the world isn't going to stop this assassin from pursuing Kaguya.
大丈夫よ。防御にマナをつぎ込めば、防げないってことはないわ。
Listen, there's an easy way to go about this. Considering the fact that I don't think Riku has the feather, all he needs to do is transmigrate. That's the easiest. That's the best way to call Noah over, right? And Kaguya whispers, noticing how pale-faced I've become. But you can't use much mana while in this world.
まあ、そうね。
Then it's do or die. I'll have to.
ダメ。それだけは絶対に。
I mean, I know it's not an option, but like, I was determined to say I'd transmigrate, but she didn't even let me finish. She cuts me off in a hushed but sharp tone, right as she pushes a tiny flame into my chest. I don't feel any pain. There's no burning sensation.
全世界入りはしないで。それが状況をひっくり返す大前提。
Her voice echoes directly inside my mind. If she's resorted to using this, then she definitely doesn't want the assassin overhearing what she's about to say.
特訓の成果ね。あなたは今、 魔王のマナをゼロに近いレベルまで抑えられているのよ。
Now that she mentions it, she's right. I think it's because of the last time I got attacked. I'm now unconsciously keeping my mana in check. It's some kind of fight or flight response, firing on all cylinders, to the point where there's no demonic aura to be sensed from me at all.
だから向こうも明らかにあなたが魔王だとは気づいていない。これが突破口。標的である私とこっちの一般人としか思われていないあなた。いざとなれば向こうがどちらを優先するかは明白。もうわかるわよね。どうにか隙を作るからこの場を離れて助けを呼んできてくれる？
Every fiber of my being is instinctively opposed to taking the coward's way out. But I hope being of any use to Kaguya, but I won't be of any use to Kaguya staying here. So there's no other option. Fine, we'll... Right as I turn around to start running, the assassin closes the distance. He does so in an instant, bringing his dagger down right toward me this time. Kaguya's infinite flames collide with the dagger and somehow manage to protect me. But for some reason, the assassin continues attacking me, completely contrary to our expectations. It's too much for Kaguya to handle. She's too focused on defending to give me an opening. Okay, well, see, I knew this was going to happen. We're lucky her flames can protect us from the Frostblade, but if she's concentrating on her mana, that means she's using more of it than usual, right? Then the assassin must be targeting me in order to expend Kaguya's mana. From what I can see, it's working. It's taking everything Kaguya has to protect me. Fuck. This is getting worse by the second. There must be something I could do. I could try and run away, but I'm certain the assassin would give chase. Kaguya would try to defend me, but that would just put her under extra duress. Which means that's not an option. But then what is? We don't need to defeat this guy. We just need to get out of here. So, if he lost his reason to chase us, yeah, if he decided further fighting would be futile, or if I can make him think it is, that's right. I can give him a reason to withdraw. Both parties must be getting exhausted by now. I just have to give him something equally as worth his while. Kaguya.
何？今ちょっと忙しいんだけど。
I call out to her from within my mind, and fortunately enough, she hears me and responds. This is it. You think you can hurt me enough to force a draw?
できなくはないけど、それをやってしまったら、もう継戦能力が。
Or
バックログ画面だ。
hurt him enough to force a draw. Good. That's where I'll come in. It's time for Diablo to show himself.
どういうこと？
He must be getting exhausted too. This is going to work. We just have to give him a reward of equal value to your life, and then he'll withdraw. Hi, Diablo. It will put an end to this here and now. His suggestion makes me gasp. My heart is pounding like a hammer.
そこまで身を捨ててまで私を守ろうと。
His determination alone takes my breath away. But that's not the only thing that impacts me. The reason I gasped, the reason my heart is hammering.
自分が倒されることで戦いを終わらせる。
His reason and his goals, they perfectly align with what I imagine Diablo must have been in the end.
やっぱりあなたは。
Well, at least she's aware that Diablo wasn't really that bad of a guy.
別人であってもその器は王と呼んで何一つ。
You know, it took a lot of research in Noah's route to find out that Diablo wasn't really that bad of a guy. But at least in Kaguya's route, it doesn't take that long because she already did the research herself. She reached a conclusion with the research she did, but she didn't get she couldn't go that deep into the research, is what I meant.
だから私をこんなに
Let's do this, Kaguya. My mind made up. I jump in front of Kaguya. Sheesh, even a hired help like you must be aware. Diablo has been reborn in this world, and I am him. I declare as I begin to gradually release all of my suppressed mana. This assassin's a magic user. He's going to pick up on the abrupt change in my aura. And now you're free to aim at me. Come steal my mana. Before Kaguya comes to her senses and tries to stop me. What? The assassin takes no notice of me, even as I start releasing Diablo's mana toward him. A wall of innumerable spears appears only to fire forward like arrows a moment later. They fire straight toward Kaguya while the assassin himself gets ready to launch another follow-up. Hang on, you don't steal Sung Jinwoo's line, alright? That's what he says. Kaguya summons forth a wall of crimson fire, which just about manages to burn through the spears that completely cover my field of vision. But that drives her to her limit. The assassin takes advantage of the gap in her defenses to plunge his dagger forward. Kaguya has no hope of reacting in time, not after using up that much mana, that much magic. The crystalline tip slides through her flank. Kaguya! Instinctively, I reach out and scream her name. In that very moment, while I am still struck by panic, a torrent of mana knits together before my eyes. The magic takes shape, then fires forward. Huh?
No.
I'm surprised, and I'm the one who did it, so I bet the assassin is even more so. The blade device he holds mere inches from Kaguya immediately shatters. Kaguya is surprised too, in a state of total confusion.
私も魔法を放てなくなって。いえ、マナが抑制されている。
That's unique magic. All the confusion and panic has brought us to an unforeseen deadlock. And that's when our fourth person comes flying into the scene.
獣、許すまじ。
Well, I was hoping it'd be Aurier, but I guess... I was hoping it'd be Noah, but I guess Aurier's closer. Aurier. Aurier lunges toward the assassin at an earth-shattering speed. He naturally goes to meet her attack. However... he can no longer produce his frostblade, nor form the spears of ice around him. That moment is all Aurier needs. She grabs hold of the assassin with the elegance of an accomplished martial artist, almost like she is, before throwing him into a grapple.
お帰りが遅いと。お迎えに上がって正解でした。
She keeps the assassin's hand twisted behind his back, stopping him from trying anything. He tries desperately to wriggle free, but Aurier's hold is unyielding.
物理的に行動不能状態にしています。闘争も何もかも素直に諦めるのがよろしいかと。
Listen, Aurier, look, I'm just gonna say, you just kill him. You know, I mean, look, unless there's a way for you to expose Kaguya's brother's actions through the assassin, I'd just say kill him. Just, you know, threatening him isn't really going to do anything, so, like, the assassin finally stops struggling. And, like, you know, the assassin isn't going to pull a Clavy and either become good or just never return to this world, so, like, I guess he's resigned himself to his fate. Jeez. I almost dropped on my knees in exhaustion as Kaguya rushes over to me, her hair fluttering behind her. She gently runs her hands all over me.
外傷はない。みたいね。
You know, he's just manner exhausted or whatever.
具合の方は大丈夫？どこか感覚がおかしかったり、違和感があったり。
Nah, I'm good. Thanks for the concern. But crazily enough, I'm perfectly fine. My manner's been suppressed too, and it doesn't feel like it's going to run wild, so you don't need to worry about that either.
そう。ならよかった。本当によかった。
She means it. Her face instantly relaxes, as does the rest of her. I wouldn't be surprised if she wanted to collapse to her knees as well. Thanks for the hydrate. And the stretch. You're gonna say anything instead of just redeeming? Okay, yep. There's my response.
あんなすごい魔法を使ったのに、体のどこにも負担がかかっていなくて。
You know, I'm just him, you know, I So that really was magic. Was it advanced stuff?
高度なんて言葉じゃ済まないくらいよ。私がどれだけ驚かされたか。そもそも、あなたが魔法を使ってのけたこと自体だけど。
Kaguya straightens herself up and smiles wryly as she looks me up and down.
マナが乏しいこっちで生まれ育ったあなたが、魔法を使うなんて、普通ならありえないわ。
I mean, didn't Amane?
さすがは魔王の生まれ変わり、と言うべきなのかしら。
No, really.
参考までに、というのも変だけど、聞かせてもらえる？一体、どうやって魔法を使ったの？
I can tell from her serious expression that she wants to hear all about the process. All the process I went through and how I controlled the mana. But I don't have an answer for her. Sorry, but honestly, I don't really know myself.
え？だったら、どうして魔法が発動？
It was the power of love. I quietly clear my throat, then stand up straight. I was just desperate to save you, Kaguya. Listen, if you're gonna confess to her, I don't think this is the time or the place. Considering that, you know, Aurea is a bit preoccupied, holding down an assassin. I turn away, but not before I see Kaguya's eyes go wide. That took everything I had to say. It feels like a miracle born of love to me. Like I said, the power of love. But as much as I'd like to say that, I obviously can't. All I can tell her is that I didn't do it consciously. It just sort of happened. There's a miracle I performed to save the girl I love. Not that I could ever say that with a straight face. Definitely probably shouldn't say that here either. Kaguya would probably be a little creeped out if I did, so not happening. Once again, read the room. Miracle or whatever, I'm just glad she's safe. I can't look away from him. He looks off to the side, trying to hide whatever it is. As someone who wields mana myself, I know just how difficult that magic was. There aren't many people who could perform it, even back in my world. It truly was grand magic. Well, I mean, it's not new, right? Any time there's a magic in a magic system that nullifies other magic, it's always fucking super advanced shit. But like, you know, I hate that such a cool magic has become a trope, right? I hate that there's always that magic nullifying sort of thing. And he was able to use it just because he wanted to protect me.
つまりあなたは
That means you
そこまで私を大切な存在だと思ってくれているのね。
The moment I realize this, I hear something inside me. It's sweet, like the ringing of a bell, but suffocating at the same time. As if my very soul is trembling in resonance with it. It makes my heartbeat speed up all the more. I know for certain that I've never heard anything quite like it. And yet, instinctively, the realization of how important it is sets in to a maddening extent.
本当に目が離せない。見つめることしかできない。こんな私知らない。私は
I'm suddenly assailed by an intense embarrassment, forcing me to snap my eyes away from him. A moment ago, I couldn't take my eyes away, and now I can't even look at him, because it feels like my heart is about to jump out of my mouth when I do. My body is burning so hot that I'm finding it difficult to stand, and yet...
少しでも長くこのままあなたのそばにいたいと。
Listen, Kaguya, there's a time and place for having these conflicting emotions. I don't think this is the time or the place. What's making me feel this way? I wish someone could tell me, though they obviously can't. There's no going back for me. Everything about who I was before is different now. I bitched about it, and they finally gave it to me. I mean, you know, I was expecting like something Amane would wear or Kurumi, but you know, I did bring up Noah, so I guess they answered my they answered. The next day. This is getting interesting. This is an interesting route. I used YouTube's transcript to ask ChatGPT to make a chatbot of the character Lily from the story. I thought she was really cute, so I kind of wanted to talk to characters similar to her. I've also been dabbling in Omegaverse chatbots that include both male and female. I'm definitely not gay, so I don't like the gay version of the Omegaverse. I prefer when it has both genders. I'd never really looked into it too much, but it's interesting. Did you see what I put in Discord just chatting? Yeah, just chatting just now. But, yeah. That was a lot of angelic chaos. But, it was pretty good. Alright. Thoughts? What do you mean? Thoughts on what? On the Omegaverse hetero version specifically? I mean, it's fine. Alright? And so is the character you want to create. I did a test and I got submissive Omega. Right. But either way, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, a follow would be appreciated. If you want to support me further, go to subscribe. But yeah. Guess what we're doing tomorrow? That's right, we're playing more Angelic Chaos. But I guess it's gonna be slightly less than today. Right? I guess there is more room for me to do any reactions or something, right? But either way, until then, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, and I will see you guys again next time. Bye-bye.